Hey there, want to make your voice heard at a Board of Supervisors meeting? We're all ears. Here's how you can get involved. First, hop online and look at the agendas. This will give you the scoop on what's coming up before the board. Each agenda item includes a brief description of the issue, the recommendations, and potential impacts. If you need more detail, check out the detailed reports online. Those are called board letters. Then, decide if you want to speak at Tuesday's general legislative session or Wednesday's land use session. You'll have 3 opportunities to have your say. Let's start with non-agenda public comment. This is your chance to talk about things that aren't on the agenda, but try and keep your topic related to county government. For non-agenda public comments, you can speak at either the Tuesday or Wednesday session, but not both. So, pick your day accordingly. And keep in mind, the board can't act on the spot. They'll refer your comments to the Chief Administrative Officer, who will look into the issue. Last thing, the board will hear from the first 10 speakers, 5 in person and 5 by phone at the beginning of the session. Then all the remaining speakers will get their chance to speak after the discussion items. During the consent agenda, the board handles a bunch of routine items with 1 vote. If you want to comment on an item, keep it simple. For example, I'm John Doe speaking on item 5, and I agree with approving the contract. Discussion items are the main event where the board debates before making a decision. Want to speak at one of the meetings? It's really easy. Just hop online and fill out a quick request form at publiccomment.sandiegocounty.gov. Pick the meeting you're interested in, hit the register button, then fill in your details. Make sure to include a phone number if you plan on speaking by phone. Prefer speaking at the podium in the board chamber? No problem. Just pick the in-person option. After that, just check off the agenda items you want to talk about and let them know you're for, against, or neutral on them. Hit register and you're good to go. A confirmation email will land in your inbox to wrap it up. If you're speaking by phone, the email will include the instructions for how to dial in. Be sure to submit your request early. Once public comment begins on the agenda item, we can't take any more requests to speak. And if you have documents, hand them to the deputy clerk when it's your turn to speak at the podium. Now, you get 2 minutes to speak, but if lots of people want to talk, it might get cut to 1 minute. So, you might want to consider writing 2 sets of comments, one for 2 minutes, another one for 1. That way, if time's cut, you won't be scrambling. There's also a countdown clock at the podium to keep you on track. Once you're at the podium, stay on topic. Stick to the current agenda item. If you stray off topic, you might get a gentle nudge to get back to the point. Keep your comments related to the agenda item's recommendations because that's what the board is relying on to make a decision. Also, speak directly to the board. They're the ones making the decision. When your time's up, it's up. Overstaying might mean getting muted or even asked to leave. Now for some ground rules. For safety, keep aisles and doorways clear. If there isn't a seat, head across the hall to room 302 or the 4th floor balcony to watch the meeting. Respect is huge. Everyone should feel heard. That means you, other speakers, and the Board of Supervisors. Disruptive behavior gets 1 warning, and after that, a deputy sheriff might show you the door. So let's keep it respectful. Your voice matters, and we want to hear from you. Remember, we're all here to make a difference.
morning, good morning. Good morning. I now call the February 10th, 2026 San Diego County Board of Supervisors regular meeting and Fire Protection District meeting to order. We would like to take a moment to acknowledge the land we call home. There are communities in the San Diego region that face unjust conditions and circumstances related to the environments in which they live. The tribal nations of the San Diego region are an example of one community that has historically faced such injustices. We acknowledge the harmony that existed between the land, nature, and its original peoples who have since endured displacement, persecution, and systemic oppression. We pay our respect to the unceded territory and homelands of the 18 tribal nations in our region, the most in any county in the United States, from 4 cultural groups: the Kumeyaay Digueño, the Luiseño, the Cupeño, and Kaiwea. We aspire to learn from indigenous traditional knowledge and experiences in undoing the injustices of the past. Andrew, please call the roll for today's session.
Thank you. Supervisor Anderson.
Here.
Supervisor Desmond.
Here.
Chair Pro Tem Aguirre.
Here.
Vice Chair Montgomery Stepp.
Here.
And Chair Lawson-Remer.
Here. We now have Reverend Madison Shockley deliver the invocation and Rick J. Espita lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand.
Let us pray. Holy and gracious Creator, we pray your sacred wisdom might descend upon our supervisors who are charged with the governance of this great people of the County of San Diego. Give them the courage and the heart to govern with compassion in these challenging times. More than knowing right and wrong, these who supervise our life together must weigh the rights that compete for scarce resources and make decisions that bind us all with the responsibilities of community. But justice demands that the strong bear the burdens of the weak and the powerful protect those who are vulnerable. May we continue to serve and to save the poor, the sick, the young, the vulnerable. This is our sacred charge. In this Black History Month, we celebrate the incredible gifts you have shared with the world through your children of near African descent. Trafficked to this continent in chains, yet now living free and proud lives of creativity, beauty, and hope. May we give due honor to the living legacy of those who endured and suffered, but would not give up. Their perseverance is an inspiration to us all and an example of what hope in God can do. May we share in that hope as we face the challenges of our county and the hard questions and difficult problems that we must face and solve with justice and in love. Amen.
Our Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we now proceed with the proclamations. The first proclamation was given by myself, honoring the University of California, San Diego, and UC San Diego Health. Accepting the proclamation will be Vice Chancellor Allison Satterland and Nick Macchione. Y'all come up, come up, come up. Good morning. Today is about something pretty simple, when institutions actually show up for the people they serve. The University of California, San Diego and UC San Diego Health have been doing that alongside the county for years. Today, we're just naming it and saying thank you and saying we are in this together. What makes UC San Diego so special is that students aren't on the sidelines. They're central to the mission, learning by training in real clinics and contributing directly to the well-being of our communities. UC San Diego is not some distant hospital system. They're a true partner, advancing public health, integrating behavioral health, training the workforce we all rely on, and working shoulder to shoulder with the county. This partner shows up in very real ways, supporting student mental health and basic needs, hosting CalFresh enrollment workshops so students don't fall through the cracks, backing student-run clinical programs that meet people where they're at, and together, we've also co-designed initiatives that have made a measurable difference. The San Diego County Childhood Obesity Initiative, the largest collective impact effort of its kind in the nation, has reinvested more than $20 million in our communities. The IMAS Fresco program delivering more than 50,000 produce boxes to households across our region. This is fresh produce that keeps people healthy. UC San Diego Health Sciences and UC San Diego Health play a critical role in advancing public health region-wide, partnering with the county on prevention, population health, preparedness, and coordinated responses to community needs. This is what public health looks like. Not just plans and reports, but trust, relationships, and showing up. It's students learning that service matters. It's families feeling supported instead of invisible. It's institutions working together instead of operating in silos. So today is not just a thank you, it's a commitment to keep doing this work together and to keep making sure people have the care, information, and support they need to live healthy, full lives. So now, therefore, be it proclaimed by myself and all the members of the San Diego County Board of Supervisors on this 10th day of February 2026 that we commend University of San Diego, University of California, San Diego, and UC San Diego Health for outstanding service, leadership, and commitment to the citizens of San Diego County, and do hereby declare this day to be University of California, San Diego, and UC San Diego Health Day throughout San Diego County.
Thank you so much. Oh, my goodness. Well, I must say it is an exceptional honor to be here on behalf of Chancellor Khosla, and deep gratitude to Chair Lawson-Remer and all of the members of the Board of Supervisors. It's an honor to accept this designation and recognition. We are deeply grateful for our partnership with San Diego County and for the shared commitment of advancing Live Well San Diego. At UC San Diego, our interconnectedness with the county reflects our mission as a student-centered, research-focused, service-oriented public institution dedicated to serving the region that we call home and aligning our mission with community needs. There are so many amazing faculty, staff, and students across departments and UC San Diego who have done incredible work in partnership with the county to advance Live Well San Diego. And while we cannot name everyone today, we are deeply grateful for their dedication, leadership, and service to our community. Across UC San Diego, including the School of Medicine, the Herbert Wertheim School of Public Health and Human Longevity Science, and the Skaggs School of Pharmacy and the Pharmaceutical Sciences, we align education, training, and research with regional public health priorities and workforce needs. This work is led by Dr. Cheryl Anderson, Dean of the Herbert Wertheim School of Public Health and Human Longevity Science, Dr. Happy Araneta, Associate Dean of Diversity Community Partnerships at UC San Diego School of Medicine, Dr. Luis Castellanos, Health Sciences Clinical Professor of Medicine, Vice Chair of Culture and Community and Executive Director of the PRIME programs, Dr. Barbara Jung, Associate Vice Chancellor for Health Sciences, Academic Affairs, and Dean of the School of Medicine, and Dr. Valida Jones, Associate Vice Chancellor for Diversity and Community Partnerships, along with many other faculty, staff, and students and program leaders whose contributions are essential and may not be named individually today. With the leadership of Dr. Cheryl Anderson, the School of Public Health plays an important role in translating evidence into action and partnering with the county on applied public health solutions. Dr. Anderson is also co-leading with the county applied public health initiatives, including the collaborative efforts to train 1 million residents in hands-on only CPR, expanding life-saving skills across our region. Workforce development is another critical way UC San Diego advances Live Well San Diego. The UC San Diego Preventative Medicine Residency trains physicians in population health, prevention, systems-based care, and the clinical management of preventable diseases, working closely with community health centers and regional healthcare partners. Service learning and experiential education are also central to our mission. Our School of Medicine Dean, Dr. Barbara Jung, ensures that through our UC San Diego student-run free clinic project, that our students provide comprehensive, high-quality care to uninsured and underserved patients and community members while gaining hands-on clinical experience aligned with our county priorities. On campus, this work is supported through academic and operational leadership from Dr. Ed Junkins, strengthening the connection between education and direct community care of our 40,000 students in programs like Triton Core, an emergency mental health intervention team, and well-being tech innovations like Willow, an app connecting students to one another and health services. Our faculty also contribute to advancing behavioral health education and academic leadership, including work led by Steve Coe, aligning training, innovation, and clinical expertise with county behavioral health priorities. Health equity and workforce pipeline development are further advanced through the Office of Diversity and Community Partnerships, led by Dr. Valita Jones, including the California Medicine Scholars Program, which strengthen the pipeline from community colleges to medical school and support a more diverse healthcare workforce. Together with San Diego County, UC San Diego is proud to educate and prepare the next generation of health professionals, advance prevention and equity, and strengthen the long-term systems of care that support a healthier, more resilient region for all San Diegans. Now it's my pleasure to turn it over to my colleague, Nick Machione, Chief Health Officer of UC San Diego Health, to share more about UC San Diego Health System's level partnerships with the county.
Thank you, Vice Chair Assembly. Chair Lawson-Remer, members of the board, CEO Shelton, the great staff, and the Live Well team that's here. I have immense emotion being in this chamber, having been proud employee for 26 years, 15 years of those as the director for the Health Human Service Agency, and proudly one of the architects of Live Well San Diego. And who would have ever known that we were embarking on an initiative that's being replicated across the country and internationally on the simple principle of San Diegans helping San Diegans live well. A public handshake, not a public contract. It is remarkable when you think of what this board and this staff has done, nearly 600 partnerships. It took us a while. We were always a partner, but it took us a while. We got here with the proclamation. And I'm reminded of a press event that was held yesterday by Supervisor Montgomery Stepp for Love Your Heart. And one example of what Live Well San Diego in action means. And that was to raise awareness for San Diegans about loving their heart, right? Valentine's Day, best thing you do besides a box of chocolates and flowers is know your numbers. Why? Because heart disease is the #1 leading cause of death across the country. Silent killer for women and communities of color. And in 2012, this board and this staff with the community embarked on making it available and raising awareness to get your blood pressure taken. And every year we have over 100 people that are rushed to the emergency department that are alive today, some of them who were dear friends of mine. I'm reminded, and that is one of thousands of initiatives that Live Well San Diego has accomplished and shall accomplish still more. And it comes down to the partnerships and the leadership that this Board of Supervisors and staff have led to allow us to believe that with all the discourse that's happening, we can still find commonality in making sure people are living healthy, they're safe, and they're thriving. And our commitment at UCSD has been a partner in that Love Your Heart and many other initiatives that Vice Chancellor Sutherland has mentioned. And so we're extraordinarily proud on behalf of my boss, the CEO, Patty Mason, our Chancellor, Pradeep Khosla, and the entire institution, a little glimpse that you see here of joining forces and being proud members as of the Live Well initiative. Thank you.
going in the front. Photo? Here. Everyone, come on, come on, for a picture. In front of the podium. Everybody, in front of the podium. Thank you all. The second proclamation will be given by myself and Vice Chair Montgomery Stepp, honoring Lunar New Year. Accepting the proclamation will be Natasha Wong, Wendy Urishima Khan, and Tri Lu and Kathleen Dang. Everyone can come up.
Natasha's here. Good morning, everyone. I'm so glad to see all of you.
Good morning. You all come
Okay,
up.
please come on up. And I'll just make sure that I think all the proclamations deserve the same amount of respect, so I'll just make sure we're all listening. Anyone else coming up? Okay. Good morning, everyone. Today, I love that, okay? Today, we recognize the many communities across San Diego who keep Lunar New Year traditions alive. Lunar New Year is a time to honor where one comes from while welcoming what's ahead. It is marked by many different gatherings to celebrate the hope that each new cycle brings health and prosperity to our families and communities. Here in San Diego, that spirit lives through organizations and spaces that serve as cultural anchors, from small businesses, cultural centers, advocacy groups, and artists who make neighborhoods like Convoy, City Heights, and downtown places where Asian culture is visible, shared, and celebrated every day. The organizations with us today are ones that build bridges between generations. They also remind us that San Diego's identity has always been shaped by the contributions of Asian immigrants and families who helped build this region through labor, entrepreneurship, and advocacy. This Lunar New Year welcomes the year of the fire horse. This is my year. In the lunar zodiac, the fire horse calls on us to move forward with courage, ambition, and transformative energy. Despite the chaos of our changing world, may we come together this year to represent the symbolism of the year of the fire horse in our everyday lives. May this year of the fire horse bring strength to our communities, light to our paths forward, and continued unity across cultures. So happy Lunar New Year, and thank each one of our organizations that are represented here today for the work that you all do. And I'll now turn it over to my colleague, Chair Lawson-Remer.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Today, I'm honored to be here recognizing Lunar New Year of the Fire Horse. Lunar New Year is celebrated across San Diego County and by more than 2 billion people around the world. For many families, it's a time to come together, share meals, honor traditions, and start the year wishing one another health, happiness, and prosperity. I'd like to thank the incredible community leaders and organizations that took the time to be here today, including Union of Pan-Asian Communities, Asian Pacific American Coalition, the San Diego Chinese Consolidated Benevolent Association, the San Diego Chinese Historical Museum, the Asian Business Association, the House of China, the Chinese School of San Diego, the Doan Foundation, the Vietnamese American Youth Alliance, PAC Arts, the Organization of Chinese Americans, the API Coalition, the Asian Pacific Alliance of County Employees. All of these organizations help keep cultural traditions alive. They build relationships across communities and make sure these traditions are passed on to the next generation. It's also important to remember that recognition of holidays like Lunar New Year do not happen automatically. We are a nation built by immigrants, and inclusion has always come because people organize, speak up, and demand to be seen. This work continues today. So this Lunar New Year, I hope people take time to support these organizations, attend community events like the TET Festival, support local businesses, and spend time with neighbors, family, and friends. So be it proclaimed by myself and all members of the San Diego County Board of Supervisors on this 10th day of February 2026. We commend the amazing community organizations for their outstanding service, leadership, and commitment to the residents of San Diego County, and do hereby declare this day to be Lunar New Year of the Firehorse Day throughout San Diego County. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Natasha Wong, and I'm a lawyer, educator, community leader, and advisor for the Asian Pacific American Coalition, also known as APAC. On behalf of APAC, our co-founder Mitz Lee and I would like to thank Chair Tara Lawson-Remer and County Supervisor Monica Montgomery-Stepp and the entire County Board of Supervisors for recognizing Lunar New Year. APAC strives to educate, empower, and engage Asian Americans who have traditionally had one of the lowest levels of involvement and representation in the political process. From our candidate forums, like the Night of the Roundtables, and to our Youth Leadership Summer Internship Program, we host and coordinate events that contribute to the social, economic, and civic strength of our community. On a more personal note, I am a Chinese American. I was born and raised here in San Diego, and I had the privilege of witnessing my family, my mother, Sally Wong Avery, my uncle, Tom Hom, advocate for Chinese Americans. My mother provided free legal services to low-income families, taught ESL to Chinese seniors, and helped hundreds pass the U.S. citizenship exam to become naturalized citizens of our great country. Uncle Tom, he was the first Asian elected to City Council, and he spearheaded the revitalization of the Gaslamp Quarter. And he brought our beautiful baseball park, Petco Park, to downtown. Both my mother, Sally Wong Avery, and Uncle Tom Hom, they led also efforts to create the Chinese Historical Museum on 3rd Avenue to preserve the history of the Chinese there. And for myself, as a mother, raising a family in San Diego, I have also worked to preserve Chinese language and culture for future generations with 2 language schools, the Chinese School of San Diego and the Chinese Bilingual Preschool. And I also served as president of Balboa Park's House of China, which since 1935 has helped promote goodwill and understanding through educational and cultural programs like our popular Chinese New Year Festival, which is coming up this February 21st and 22nd in Balboa Park. There are many other Chinese Americans and Asians who have paved the way to make a positive impact for others in my hometown, and I'm proud to be a part of it. I'm deeply grateful to the County Board of Supervisors for recognizing the most important holiday to our Chinese community, because it means we belong, it means we are seen, and it means our immigrant culture is just as important for the social connection and the economic growth of our beautiful city. Thank you.
Good morning, County Supervisors and County staff in San Diego. I'm Kathleen Dang, Board Secretary of the Chinese Consolidated Benevolent Association in San Diego, one of the oldest Chinese American organizations founded in downtown San Diego in the late 1800s, in what was then the Chinatown of San Diego. In there, many notable people have roots from that neighborhood, such as the former San Diego City Council member, Tom Hom. Our organization has been active in San Diego for over 125 years, focusing on community service, cultural heritage, and generational belonging. We are producing the 43rd San Diego Chinese New Year Fair in downtown San Diego on February 28th and March 1st. We are honored and proud to be here to celebrate the Lunar New Year, which is an important holiday for many communities and organizations in our region, honoring people with ancestry from throughout East and Southeast Asia. Please know there is more work to be done to recognize and amplify the communities who may not be present in this room. We encourage the county to continue building pathways for all communities to be empowered and civically engaged every day of the year, not just during cultural holidays. Wishing you all a happy Black History Month, happy Lunar New Year, and Year of the Horse. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Tri Lu. I'm a board director for the Vietnamese American Youth Alliance. It's a mouthful, I know, but we like to shorten it to VIA. And today I stand here with the support of our Miss Vietnam San Diego Royal Court and our staff, representing something very simple, but very powerful. For 21 years, VIA has brought our community together through San Diego's largest That Festival, not just to celebrate culture, but to pass it on, to share it, and maybe have some fun at our beer garden doing so. The Madam Vice Chair, Ms. Montgomery Stepp, said something very poignant when she spoke about building bridges. Because VIA has become a bridge between generations, a bridge between cultures, a bridge between where we come from and who we are becoming. This proclamation recognizes more than just an event. It represents the county's commitment. And on behalf of VIA, I accept that commitment. I accept this proclamation with deep gratitude, but also with responsibility. Your help provides the bricks with which we build our bridge. And build we shall.
Well, good morning, Gung Hai Pha Choi. Happy New Year and Year of the Horse. I want to give a big shout out, please, to our chair, Lawson Reamer, our vice chair, Monica Montgomery Stepp, our honorable supervisors, our county staff. It's really important to the community, and we know you all have a lot on your plate, but to take time to acknowledge our community on this special day. I'm Wendy Urushima Khan, President and CEO of UPAC, Union of Pan-Asian Communities, also known as Uniting People Across Cultures, which is my personal favorite. And for more than 50 years, we have been providing culturally competent, multicultural behavioral health for the community in 30 languages at 11 offices and 15 school sites. And the reason that's important is I often think of people that are not being served. As a fourth generation Japanese American, my grandparents and parents were in the internment camps, and they talk about, even being born here, how tough it was coming back home and being told, I always get emotional, Japs, go home. And what that feels like not to be welcome in the community. So when the opportunity came up to lead UPAC last year after the legendary Margaret Iwanaga Penrose retired, I said, how could I say no to that opportunity? So thank you for this incredible honor. I love seeing many of my colleagues in the community. I had the honor and pleasure of running the Asian Business Association for many years and serving on their board for several decades. I'm joined by my colleague, UPAC board member Vicky Gihorie, my colleague Jason Tucker. We just want to send deep gratitude to all of you for serving the community and lifting up the voices for those who are not always heard and celebrated. So as we close in the Year of the Horse, I'd like to leave you with this. As the horse runs swiftly, may this year bring you progress and momentum in all that you do. Thank you.
hope your mom has your mom.
Amazing. Thank you, thank you. Okay, I have to introduce yours.
Yes.
Okay, the third proclamation. Thank you all so much. Let's try to take our seats and be respectful to each other. The third proclamation will be given by Vice Chair Montgomery Stepp, honoring Black History Month. Accepting the proclamation will be Guy Finney. Okay, thank you.
Yes, and yes, everybody come on up. So good morning again, everyone. I'm really, really honored to be recognizing 100 years of Black History Month, or celebrating Black history during February. But as I have continued to say, Black history is American history, so it should be woven into everything that we learn throughout the year. But the mark of this centennial celebration is a living testament that continues to shape the soul of San Diego through creativity, resilience, and community. A century ago, Carter G. Woodson created what was then called Negro History Week to ensure that Black history would no longer be ignored or erased. 100 years later, we stand as proof that Black history is not confined to textbooks or the past. It is alive in our neighborhoods, our art, our music, and our collective future. Here in San Diego, that history is deeply rooted in communities like Julian, Encanto, Gaslamp, Coronado, and we'll hear later, South County, my friend Diamond is receiving a proclamation. But inhabited by Black families who arrived to work in shipyards, in the defense industries, and railroads. They built churches, started businesses, organized for civil rights, and created spaces of joy and expression, even when access and opportunity were denied. And I'd be remiss if I did not call out Mr. Leon Williams, who was a trailblazer in so many ways for San Diego. This marks the first year where we are celebrating without his presence, but I am personally grateful for the sacrifices he made so that we could have Black representation in all levels of government throughout the county. We recognize the legacy reflected through the African American Association of County Employees and their dedication to promoting equity, inclusion, and opportunity for Black professionals, while also amplifying the voices of African Americans in the pursuit of justice and fairness. I don't believe we have representation this morning, but I wanted to call out their good work anyway. We also recognize the legacy in the San Diego Black Arts and Culture District. The Black Arts and Culture District is more than a designation, but it's a declaration that Black creativity belongs in public spaces, especially in San Diego. Black stories and culture matter, and that culture is not something to be displaced, erased, or forgotten. The designation signifies that San Diego holds something special that must be protected, invested in, and celebrated. The Black Arts and Culture District carries forward the work of those who came before us while creating space for those still to come. At a time when so many Black communities across the country have been pushed aside, the San Diego Black Arts and Culture District stands as a model of what it looks like to center equity, to honor history, and to build cultural sustainability right here at home. As we commemorate the centennial of Black History Month, let us remember that supporting Black artists, protecting cultural districts, and investing in community spaces are modern acts of remembrance. And let me just say about the Black history of this country and what we are facing here today. This country was built on the backs of enslaved people, and the systems that we see recreate themselves, whether it be post-Reconstruction era, whether it be Jim Crow laws, whether it be mass incarceration, whether it be ICE terrorizing our communities, It stems from the way that this country was built. And so Black history is a time to be truth tellers, and that's why I say it is American history, because the more we know and celebrate our heroes, and the more we know about our true past, the less that we will be deemed to repeat it in the future. So this is a time for us to come together and to honor cultures across the spectrum, but this country really is rooted in the way that it treated enslaved people, and we continue to see that type of behavior throughout our history. So that's why it's even more important to lift up those spaces with our Black artists that tell the story, that protect our culture, and that honor in these various public spaces. And with that, let me just read the final line of the proclamation. Be it proclaimed by all of the members of the San Diego County Board of Supervisors on this 10th day of February 2026 that they commend the San Diego Black Arts and Culture District for their outstanding service, leadership, and commitment to the residents of San Diego County. And we do hereby declare this month to be Black History Month throughout San Diego County. Thank you so much. And we'll turn it over to
Good morning. My name is Gaidi Finney. I'm the Executive Director of the San Diego African American Museum of Fine Art. We are the managing entity for the San Diego Black Arts and Culture District, and we are truly humbled and thankful. And especially Monica Montgomery, who was one of the people who helped us get this whole thing started. I'm a man of very few words, so I'm going to turn over to the Black Arts and Culture District Committee.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Dahan Blevins. I'm the Commissioner for Arts and Culture, and just as important, I am the CEO and founder of San Diego Urban Warriors, which is the community group who has given, all the way from West Pratt, all the way to this queen right here, who took the bait and ran with it, saying we need to have a Black Arts and Culture District in San Diego. Every other group in this city celebrates their culture, their art, their stories. I'm a native San Diegan, and we never had that. So for us to have that now is something for this entire city to be able to celebrate. There's a principle that is called Kuji Chagulia, and it's the principle that most of our leaders taught us to name, define, create, and speak for ourselves instead of allowing others to name, define, and create and speak for us. With these 9 blocks, San Diego's Divine 9 Black Arts and Culture District, we as an entire city now have an opportunity to celebrate Black art and culture and raise the level of appreciation, because a lot of us don't know where to get it. Raise the level of appreciation for Black art and culture. So I thank Monica Montgomery. I thank our entire community that stepped up to be the Black Arts and Culture District Committee, and now the challenge is on for all of us. Thank you again.
Good morning. My name is Francine Maxwell, and I serve on the Advisory Council. We are very honored to have she was the councilwoman. Now she is our Board of Supervisors. That promotion. We appreciate Supervisor Monica Montgomery Stepp and all the supervisors for recognizing the Black Arts and Culture and Black History Month. It's not just a month, it is 365. I want to invite everyone to come to the Land of the Enchanted in Cancho. It will change your perspective on the city of San Diego when you get to see and hear and touch, and you will feel the vibration of what it means to be Black in San Diego. So I want to make sure that you mark on your calendars. You are all invited to the Keepers of the Culture event. Please Google San Diego Black Arts Council, and you will see all the activities that are going around in this region. Again, this region is not just a month, it is 365 that we celebrate Black history. Thank you so much.
They say American history ain't Black history. This Black plight is a white mystery. Been screaming for years, but they didn't want to listen. Plenty well-meaning folks with the wool on their eyes. They say we reckless, but they reckless with our lives. Welcome to the party. We've been here for a while. We've been living in the tragedy. You was living in the Marching for our lives, we was playing on the beach, dying in the hospital, dying in the streets, dying in the church. All we wanted was some peace. How some of y'all get it, but the rest of y'all didn't. We've been screaming from our lungs, but y'all didn't want to listen. Just a glimpse of our reality brings tears to your eyes. You think this life's a struggle? Imagine life with a child. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We are now going to have another presentation and proclamation by Chair Pro Tem Aguirre. Accepting the proclamation will be Diamond Brandon.
Hustle up, y'all.
Look how cute she looks.
If you're here in chambers for me, come up here. Thank you.
Looking good.
Where's my littlest one? Oh.
Hi. Nice to meet you. Thank you for being here.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Put the girls here so we sure.
Or maybe we can put this in.
Today's not about that. It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
Well,
Come in front of me. Stand up.
all right. Good morning, everyone. Today I have the honor and privilege of recognizing an extraordinary community leader, someone who, in the essence of Black Month, I want to uplift and celebrate as a person, business owner, and community pillar. Diamond Brandon is a visionary entrepreneur whose leadership, resilience, and innovation continue to shape the lives of many in San Diego County. In addition to her work as a business leader, she is also a poet, a wordsmith, organizer, and someone who has tirelessly worked for her community, bringing creativity, care, and dedication to everything she does. Today, we recognize both Diamond Brandon and S&S Friendly Ranch, a historic family-owned business with a strong contemporary commitment to serving the South Bay and the broader San Diego community. Founded 46 years ago by siblings Sim Wallace and Sarah Buncombe, the ranch has carried forward an ancestral vision and legacy that Diamond now proudly continues. Under her leadership, the ranch has evolved into a working ranch, a premier event venue, and a hub for agricultural education. The ranch has become more than a physical space. It is a living legacy. It is a place where people gather, heal, learn, and reconnect. It is a place where history is honored while new opportunities are intentionally created for future generations. Strong leadership is not only about vision, but also about stewardship, consistency, and care. It is about creating spaces where people feel supported and seen, and about building something that will last beyond any one moment, which is exactly the amazing work that Diamond is doing at the ranch. That leadership is also evident in the program centered around healing, empowerment, and belonging. One powerful example is a women's retreat program known as This Woman's Work. These retreats have created a sanctuary where women can rest, reflect, and renew, strengthening not only the women who attend, but also the families and communities they continue to hold. And we know that's more important now than ever. This commitment to excellence and community impact has been recognized across the region. In 2024, SNS Friendly Ranch was selected for the San Diego Tourism Authority's Accelerator Program, recognizing the ranch as both a cultural and economic asset to San Diego County. Diamond's dedication exemplifies the very best of what it means to serve and strengthen our community, and it is with great pride that we formally honor her today. With that said, I want to take a moment to read the last two paragraphs of the proclamation. Whereas the County of San Diego is committed to recognizing individuals whose service reflects the highest ideals of leadership, cultural stewardship, and public good, and Diamond Brandon is one such worthy individual. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Chair and the rest of the Board of Supervisors on this 10th day of February 2026 that we commend Diamond Brandon for her outstanding service, leadership, and commitment to community, and do hereby declare this day to be Diamond Brandon Day throughout San Diego County.
Okay. I will try to behave on this mic. Okay, that was a shock. That was a good surprise. They got me. I do not like to talk about myself, and I feel like the supervisor just said a lot about me, and I'm in my emotions, and I'm so grateful for this honor. I'm grateful for the people who thought about me this month to honor. I don't want to talk about me. I actually want to talk about my grandparents. Being able to steward SNS Friendly Ranch in honor of my grandfather, Sim, and my great aunt, Sarah, has been the honor of my life. What they poured into me, my siblings, my extended family, my cousins, is priceless. And even though they're no longer here, you see the roots of what they planted in us and the way we walk and the way that we carry ourselves in the world. And being able to honor them through stewarding that land, it fills me up, and it makes me feel like they're still here with me. And so I'm so grateful to be here with my friends and family. These are the people who hype me up and get me out my head every single day. These are the people who motivate me when I get tired, because the work is heavy and carrying a family legacy is hard, but it's so worthwhile for the next generation and the generations that come after. And the last thing that I'll say is, if you have, small children in your family, pour into them. I'm standing here today able to give so much to my community, so much to my family, because of what was poured into me unselfishly. And people don't get that often. Generations of love and wisdom. My grandfather had an elementary school education, and that man was a landowner and a business owner and a homeowner here in the city of San Diego, but also extended out into different parts of California. And that is the dream. That is the dream I'm trying to preserve for my kids, for my nieces and nephews, for my extended family, but it can't be done without love, without sacrifice, without work, and coming into this with a pure heart. I could be in my ego. You said a lot of things about me. I could be feeling myself, but honestly, I feel the weight of the responsibility
to get this right so that the next generation doesn't have to go through what I went through, and that they have the keys to the kingdom. They have the things that people die with, the secrets they die with. I want them to carry this legacy proudly, boldly, loudly in this city. It is unheard of for a Black man and a Black woman in that era to have purchased 10 acres of land here in the city of San Diego. That is a powerful thing, and I don't take it lightly. To have that forethought and that foresight to just, you know, my papa was a cowboy. I don't think he really understood what he did, but he did it. He had faith in himself, and I can take that faith he had in himself and put it in me and say, I can put this much further. I can take it where it needs to go in the new direction, and I can do it knowing that my kids will see that, and they are seeing it, and they are doing it, and they're gonna do it for their generation, the generations that come after. And so I thank you. I'm so grateful, and I'm so humbled, and I don't want to talk anymore because I'm gonna cry. Photo. Get back going. Girl, why you acting shy? Where you supposed to go?
I think just around in front of the podium.
Oh, this is the photo. You got it? We're gonna come forward.
Thank you all. The fifth proclamation will be given by Supervisor Joel Anderson, honoring Frank Rufino. Accepting the proclamation will be Frank Rufino.
Good morning, everyone. Today, I'm honored to recognize Frank Ruffino, a public servant who has dedicated more than 40 years to service to the people of California. Over the course of his career, Frank has served in the Department of Veterans Affairs, the Department of Fish and Game, the Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation, before ultimately serving as the Director of Pension and Benefits in the State Treasury's office. In this role, Frank worked tirelessly to promote the financial security of thousands of teachers and public servants, ensuring that they can retire with dignity and stability. As President and CEO of the Association of the California State Supervisors, Frank championed fair pay and benefits, making public service a sustainable and respected career for countless Californians. Above all else, Frank Ruffino's greatest accomplishment is his beautiful family, including his beloved wife, Gracie, their 3 children, and their 4 grandchildren. Frank, we cannot thank you enough for your service to the people of San Diego County and the state of California. I'd like to say that I got to know Frank when I started in the state legislature, and Frank is one of the many reasons I was proud to be a state legislator. He worked so hard for our state. He was always available to answer questions. You know, when as a freshman legislator, you're learning on a very, from a fire hose, and having people that are stable, calm, who can pat you on the back and say, you'll get through it. And by the way, you should be thinking about the following things before you make this decision. Frank was that person to me and to many of my colleagues in the state legislature. He did a phenomenal job, and he's the reason why our state is such a great state. For these reasons, I'm proud to present this proclamation honoring you, Frank. And now I'd like to read the last paragraph while you have that. Be it proclaimed by the Board of Supervisors of San Diego County on this 10th day of February 2026 that they commend Frank P. Ruffino for his outstanding service, leadership, and commitment to the citizens of San Diego County, and here do declare this day to be Frank P. Ruffino Day throughout San Diego County. Frank, thank you for your outstanding service. Would you like to say a few words? And I love your tie.
Well, as you heard, after 40 years and 5 months, I decided to retire from state service. But while I am retiring from work, I am not retiring for community service, which I have done throughout my career. So in one way or another, you probably will still see me in the community, maybe even again serving for the county, as I served on multiple county throughout my career, multiple county committees throughout my career. Thank you, Supervisor Anderson, and thank you, Madam Chair, and members of the board for this. I'm very humble for this recognition. Thank you.
Well deserved, Frank. Just stand out in front and get a quick photo.
Okay, thank you very much. The sixth proclamation will be given by Supervisor Anderson and Supervisor Desmond, honoring delightful chocolate patisserie and chocolatier. Yum. Accepting the proclamation will be Daleen Coleman.
Good morning, everybody. I'm honored to join Supervisor Desmond in recognizing Delightful Chocolate, an outstanding small business here in San Diego County. I want to thank the founder, Daleen Coleman, for being here with us today. Delightful Chocolate has brought artistry and innovation to San Diego County, enriching the local economy with exceptional gourmet chocolate and pastries. Beyond her culinary talents, Daleen has dedicated herself to serving at-risk youth and families in North County. Working with nonprofits like Teen Esteem Foundation and Casa de Amparo, she has also helped to launch a Master of Social Work program at California State University, San Marcos, an achievement that reflects her deep commitment to education and community service. Daleen has been an incredible leader, and we are proud to have her here and her business here in San Diego County. I'd like to turn it over to my colleague, who has wonderful things to say.
All right, thank you, Supervisor Anderson, appreciate it. So Valentine's Day is quickly approaching, and it is truly delightful to have the renowned chocolatier with us here in the house and her amazing pastry team from the unincorporated area in Lake San Marcos in District 5. Daleen studied in England. She earned her culinary arts degree in pastry at Le Cordon Bleu, London. That sounds really fancy. And trained in with world-renowned chocolatiers. And to my colleagues up there, there's a purple bag at each one of our seats that is filled with chocolates for all of us to sample. So if it gets to be a long meeting, you might see us having some of the chocolates. But Daleen, she's a longtime member of the Fine Chocolate Industry Association and the creator of Don't Lose Your Temper, sharing her chocolate expertise worldwide. Her award-winning business has been named Best in San Diego County by San Diego Magazine and honored with the San Marcos Chamber of Commerce Award in Excellence and Business Award, which reflects her unwavering commitment to the community, not just to her business and to her employees, but also giving back to the community through leadership in local chambers, youth nonprofits, culinary arts events, and in education. So Daleen's journey is a testament to passion and perseverance. You're going to come up and speak a little bit, and sweet rewards of her craft. So whereas the County of San Diego, we're very proud to recognize and honor individuals that exemplify the highest standards of public service, and Daleen Coleman is one such worthy individual. Therefore, be it proclaimed by all the members of the San Diego County Board of Supervisors on this 10th day of February, 2026, that we commend Daleen Coleman, founder of Delightful Chocolates Pastry, did I pronounce that correctly? Patisserie, sorry, and chocolatier for her outstanding service, leadership, and commitment to the citizens, all the citizens of San Diego County, and do hereby declare today to be Daleen Coleman Delightful Chocolate Day throughout San Diego County. All right, congratulations. We'll hold this in. If you got some notes, you'd like to say a few words?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead. Here.
Thank you. So much. Oh, wow. Okay, I'll keep this relatively short and sweet. First, thank you so much, Supervisor Desmond and Supervisor Anderson, for taking the moment to honor and recognize my woman-owned small business. I really do appreciate it, and I'm humbled. Delightful Chocolat was born from a little girl's dream, shaped from education, experience, determination, and a deep desire to create something meaningful. I was raised by a resilient young mother who faced more challenges than any parent should. Abandoned by her own parents, a teen mom in a toxic relationship, and eventually a single parent to 3 daughters under the age of 8. As the youngest, I didn't understand the strength it took for her to move us from Escondido to a small town in Central California, or why we relied on church food distributions and hand-me-down clothes. What I did know was that she loved us fiercely, and she pushed us to seize every opportunity that came our way. When I was 10, she saved all year to send me and my sisters to a Western Ranch summer camp. I worked hard, learned fast, and by the end of the week, I was invited to join their traveling trick-riding troupe at no cost to my mom. For several years, I traveled across the U.S. and beyond, shining on stages and arenas. This opportunity opened my world and taught me the power of saying yes, believing in myself, and working as a team to achieve success.
At 18, I returned back to North County, San Diego to pursue my education. This path was not always straight, but with my husband's encouragement, I completed my degrees and began serving the county, supporting at-risk youth and not-for-profit children organizations. I later joined a passionate team to build the Master of Social Work program at Cal State University, San Marcos. And just as that first cohort was admitted, opportunity knocked again, this time taking my young family to England. There I enrolled in the culinary program, Le Cordon Bleu, London, and I fell in love with chocolate, cuisine, patisserie. We eventually returned to San Diego in 2016, and I was eager to bring that passion home. On May 1st, 2017, I incorporated Delightful Chocolat with a mission to build a sustainable business that brings compassionate people, lovely team, together to serve our community and support vital youth organizations. Today, I serve on several boards, volunteer for charity events, and donate goods and services to causes I believe in. I stand here with as someone who knows firsthand that when children are given opportunities and support to pursue them, they can thrive. I am simply one example of that truth, and I am humbled to be recognized for making a positive and sweet impact on San Diego County and beyond. So my amazing team and I invite you to please come and visit our patisserie and chocolatier in Lake San Marcos, where we make exquisite desserts. Mary's an amazing pastry chef, and chocolates, Sylvia's. I hope you guys are enjoying them. We also offer afternoon tea on our beautiful patio, and we teach lots of classes on Saturdays. So, and also, one cool thing is we actually have an online shop, and we ship all over the United States, and there's still time for Valentine's Day. So, thank you so much again for this honor.
Sammy. Thank you very much. Great job. Should we get a photo here in front of the lectern here?
Oh, yeah.
Is this me?
I wanted to place my order, so I brought it up.
Did you? Oh, okay.
I think they want us to share this. We need more access.
Thank you both for bringing this proclamation. I tasted the chocolate. It was delicious, so thank you. We are now moving on to our final proclamation by Supervisor Jim Desmond, honoring Wounded Warrior Homes. Accepting the proclamation will be Rick Espetia.
Okay, last but not least, and what we learned in the military was hurry up and wait. So thank you for waiting and being here today. Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome. We are honored today to have special guests from North County, the Wounded Warrior Homes Organization. This is an incredible team led by Eric Especia. How do you pronounce your name? Especia. Eric Especia, he's a chairman and executive director and also a retired U.S. Marine Corps lieutenant colonel. I want to thank you for your service and how you empower all of our veterans. It's truly inspiring to have all of you here today. San Diego County is home to the largest military and veteran population in the nation. Since 2010, The Wounded Warrior Homes has provided transitional housing, essential support services for veterans with traumatic brain, post-traumatic stress, and service-related challenges. They have provided over 52,000 nights of safe, stable housing for veterans since opening. This year, their priorities are Operation Mental Health, the Veterans Women's Center, men's transitional housing, and pantry and educational support services. I bet the veterans would like some chocolate. But anyway, guided by fairness, integrity, and respect, this remarkable organization, they help our veterans bring military values and they help bring the military values that they learned into meaningful civilian lives. Led by military experience and supported by dedicated staff and volunteers, they deliver care and excellence with honor. The leadership team today reminds us that investing in our veterans strengthens our entire community. And building on that mission, I'm soon going to be advocating for full property tax exemptions for 100% disabled veterans in our county. They deserve it. They've served and willing to put their lives on the lines. They were disabled in the military. They should not have to pay property tax. Whereas the County of San Diego, we're proud to recognize and honor organizations that exemplify the highest ideals of public service, and the Wounded Warrior Homes are one such worthy organization. Therefore, be it proclaimed by all the members of the San Diego County Board of Supervisors, here, give you the official proclamation here, that we, on this 10th day of February 2026, that we commend the Wounded Warriors Homes for their outstanding service, leadership, and commitment to the citizens of San Diego County, and do hereby declare this day to be Wounded Warrior Home Day throughout San Diego County. So congratulations. Thank you for doing everything you do. Rick, would you like to say a few words, Rick?
Thank you, Jim.
We'd be honored. Thank you.
You know, it's a special privilege to represent Wounded Warrior Homes. It's a great organization. And in joining me this morning, I have Eric Flodine, who's a volunteer and who specializes in our program outreach, and he's an upcoming board member. Allie Stanton, to his side, also a volunteer, program outreach, and an upcoming board member. I have Dan Especia, volunteer and our program support manager. Next to him is Joseph Davis. He's a resident in our men's transitional housing program. Both Joe and Daniel are military veterans. Since our inception in 2010, Wounded Warrior Homes has played a major role in providing services for our veterans. Our first major program consisted of post-9/11 veterans in our traditional transitional housing program. We now currently have updated our major programs to include. And one point not on my script is that we took our program development and what was required from the VA studies and other foundations that were looking at what our nation's veterans needed. And so that outcome of their studies provided our three major programs. First, Operation Mental Health. Today, Wounded Warrior Homes has licensed therapists to assist in the mental health of our veterans, both male and female veterans. We team with Serene Health Group, providing cutting-edge mental health services like PR, TMS. Our success story? We are now treating veterans using traditional counseling and PR, TMS treatments from Serene Health. Our second program, which many people consider it the critical program of our three, and that's the Women's Veterans Center. We provide women veterans and her children a safe home, educational support, counseling services, and a food pantry. A success story? Our first female veteran graduated from her registered nursing certification program, or RN, and has moved to her first nursing job out of state. We are now taking applications for one new opening. Our third program, and it's our traditional program, it's our men's transitional housing. This provides housing for male veterans where we assist their educational and vocational skills to re-enter their ultimate civilian career. Our success stories are many. Recent veterans include Brandon, who received his technical certificate in music production, and Carter, who received his Bachelor of Science in Informational Science. Both are now working. We have Juan, who has moved into his first permanent residence. Juan is a story unto himself for what he has gone through in his lifetime. And so we consider Juan a great success, one step at a time. Our college programs that we help our veterans through include engineering, animal behavioral health science, nursing, and criminal justice. We engage in programs to assist in employment development. Future events. This May 2026, we are embarking on our Fairways for Veterans Celebrity Golf event. We are teaming with the NFL. The event will be to support our military veterans. Play golf with us and have an NFL legend play with you the entire 18 holes. Support us. It's critical. These programs that we have are expensive, they're time consuming, but they're worth it. So support us. Visit our website at woundedwarriorhomes.org. Thank you so much, everyone.
All right, Rick, thank you. When's that golf thing?
May 6th.
May 6th. I have to get on the calendar.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. Before we begin this meeting, I'd like to take a moment to address some house rules. Public engagement is the cornerstone of transparent and accountable government, and these Board of Supervisors meetings are one of the primary venues where all San Diegans can make their voices heard. The county is committed to a work environment free from unlawful discrimination and harassment, including sexual, racial, religious, age, disability, and other forms of discrimination or harassment. Under the board's rules, speakers may not use loud, shouting, threatening, impertinent, slanderous, profane, or abusive language to any member of the board, staff, or general public. Additionally, all remarks and questions must remain on topic during the duration of your speaking time and must be addressed to the board and not to county staff. Any speaker who engages in comments that break these rules will be issued a warning. After one warning, you will be asked to leave the chamber for the remainder of the meeting. Finally, speakers threatening violence may be reported to law enforcement and removed from the meeting. This is a space for community engagement, deliberation, and progress, not for harassment, violence, and hate. We now begin with non-agenda public communication. This is an opportunity for the public to address the board on subject matters within our jurisdiction, but not our meeting agenda. The only action we may take is a referral to the CAO. Under the board's rules, speakers may speak once per meeting for non-agenda public comment, either at today's session or tomorrow's, but not both. And you may select which session to address at your convenience. To facilitate the meeting, we will have 5 non-agenda speakers in person and 5 non-agenda speakers by phone, and the first 5 in-person speakers will be randomly selected. The remainder of non-agenda public comment will be heard at the close of today's session. In accordance with the board rules, in order to ensure timely completion of today's agenda, for any discussion items with 10 or more speakers, individuals may have 1 minute to share their opinion. A reminder, according to Rule 4A, members of the public that are not English speaking and need interpretation assistance receive twice the allotted time for their comments. A final reminder, according to the board's rules of procedure, audience members shall not whistle, clap, stomp feet, or do anything to disrupt the proceedings. If you disrupt the meeting, you will be given 1 warning. After that 1 warning, if you disrupt the meeting again, you will be directed to leave the chamber. Andrew, can you please call the speakers?
Thank you, Chair Lawson-Remer. We have 19 requests to speak on matters not listed on the agenda, 7 in person and 12 requesting to speak by phone. For those that requested to speak by phone, please dial into the conference line using the instructions that were provided to you. We'll begin with the in-person speakers and will now randomly select the first 5 speakers in person. All the remaining speakers will be heard at the conclusion of today's session. As your name is called, please come forward and stand on the arrows until it is your turn to speak at the podium. You will have 2 minutes to address the board, and please begin by stating your name for the audio record. I'd like to invite forward the first 3 individuals: Aaron Landau, Gilbert Chavez, allegedly Audra, and they'll be followed by Greg Sowizderzal and Parita Javier. Those will be our first 5 speakers this morning. If I've called your name, please come forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Supervisors, my name is Aaron Landau. I first got to know Supervisor Anderson many years ago when he spoke at a La Mesa Sunrise Rotary meeting. I was impressed with his take on public service. I later attended a December open house that he hosted as state senator of Toyota of El Cajon. I attended 2 meet and greets there. I recently attended his December one at the Lakeside Rodeo. None of this is unusual, except I'm a lifelong Democrat, a Democrat who votes for competent candidates regardless of political party. I have voted consistently for Joel Anderson since I first met him whenever he was a candidate in my voting district. What brings me here today is to publicly acclaim Supervisor Anderson for his outstanding, tireless, compassionate, and issue-oriented work currently as a county supervisor. I praise him for his entire illustrious career as a public servant in whatever elected position he ever held. Joel Anderson is one of the most consummate elected officials that I have ever met. He is the best of the best. He cares for all his constituents, even those he knows who do not vote. In the state legislature, he continually crossed the aisle to work with the supermajority Democrats to get legislation enacted. He's a pragmatist. I imagine he works with his fellow supervisors to do what is the best for the residents of San Diego County. The voters in District 2 are indeed blessed to have Joel Anderson as their supervisor, as is San Diego County glad to have him as one of the 5. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good morning, Board of Supervisors. My name is Gilbert Chavez. I'm a resident of Spring Valley, California, and I've been that way for about 44 years. My reason for today is the fact that there's 3 openings on the Board of Community Service there. It's a Spring Valley Community program. And the only reason I'm bringing this forward is because I applied for this position with there was 3 seats open at that time, back last year in March. And since then, there's been a lot of turmoil. I understand that. There's been some voting going on. There was a seat that wasn't open, and now we have a seat vacant, not vacant, but taken. My point is, I'm trying to get this expedited. I've been waiting for over a year to fill this seat. I've been interviewed twice. I've been voted twice. I've done all the online requirements it's done for this particular seat, and yet we have not filled those seats. My point, we need to get this expedited. I want to be part of this community. I've been there for a long time. I've raised 3 children there. They've all gone to the same schools in this Spring Valley area. I've seen the change in Spring Valley in 44 years. 125 went through there. I was there before that. I want to make the community safer. I'm trying to do better for my community, and I'm trying to do this by getting on this board and helping them. I also volunteer for the sheriffs. I'm a senior volunteer. I'm also involved in the community with another organization, the Spring Valley Coalition, and this is just a group of people that we live with, trying to make a neighborhood house, a neighborhood program. And I'm just asking, can we just get this through and get these seats filled? There's 2 other people waiting behind me that should be on this board. And I'm just pleading that we get it done. I don't know what it takes, a vote, a sign, something, but we need to fill those seats. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
How crazy is it that people eat babies, right? It's interesting, the things that are coming out about the people that run our nation and world, and it just falls upon deaf ears, right? But I mean, you guys have your child trafficking network right here. Hey, Alfredo. Yeah. So it's just interesting to come to talk to child traffickers and think that they're going to care that babies are being eaten when you guys actually encourage them to be ripped apart limb by limb because they're just a clump of cells. But it's interesting to see such an active cover-up of, you know, pedophilia running rampant in our nation and the world, right? I mean, you come to you guys and you tell you what's going on in your own agency, and it's like, that is a conspiracy. Yet we know that even, I would think you guys would be upset that Donald Trump is a part of this. I mean, but it's like Democrats and Republicans. I mean, that's why I ask you guys, are you pedophiles? Because it's like, how can you not care that this kind of stuff goes on in our world? Right in our county. It's so interesting. It's funny being like up in this place is like literal hell just seeping up from the earth, and it smells like sulfur. And it's sad because it's like you guys sit here and get money to rip families apart. Huh, Alfredo Guardado? That's right. And then you guys sit up here and virtue signal for an hour and a half like the world around us is so great. Oh, while you guys take our money to destroy people's lives. And it's disgusting because it's like there's so much pedophilia, not only in the agencies or places that you guys operate, but in the schools, at the church. I mean, it's like Waldo's everywhere. But it's interesting because that's just a conspiracy, right?
Next speaker, please. Parita Javier.
Good morning. I am Purita Javier, senior with existing medical condition and victim of ceramics manufacturing and kiln toxicity. We join you to share lessons as community advocacy volunteers of districts, City of the San Diego, District 9 has common boundary with National City with Councilor Rivera as elected leadership. We live in fear from ceramics kiln to blood pressure compounded by moderate late onset dementia. Okay. County Health and Human Services has involved in ensuring my health and safety. Thank you, Uncle Sam. We ask help from the City of San Diego since June 2021. Starting with the police, fire, hazmat, code.
Thank you. Thank you.
Am I next, sir?
No, you're not. We'll call you this afternoon. Thank you. Next speaker, please. Greg Sawizderzal.
Thank you for that. Good morning, Chair and Supervisors. My name is Greg Sawizderzal. I am the president of IATSE Local 122. I represent the skilled crews who make film and television possible here in San Diego County. San Diego has the locations, the weather, the workforce, and the infrastructure, but we're still losing productions to regions that are simply easier and more predictable to work in. The result is lost local spending, fewer workdays for residents, and missed opportunities for small businesses across the county, from hotels and catering to construction and transportation. The County Film Initiative is a practical solution. Establish a county film commission for governance, a county film office to make permitting consistent and production ready, and a targeted rebate program that returns value by requiring local hiring and local spend. Please consider supporting this initiative in full, and let's make San Diego film ready year-round and keep those dollars and jobs here. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now hear from those that requested to speak by phone. Again, in accordance with the board's rules, we'll be hearing from the first 5 callers. The remaining callers will be heard at the conclusion of today's session. When it is your turn to speak, you will be unmuted and you will hear a recording that will tell you to begin your comments. We will start with our first caller.
Good morning, Board of Supervisors. My name is Stephen Watson. My father, Min Watson, was murdered in San Diego. He died while under court-ordered house arrest. He was in your custody, but instead of investigating, your agencies classified him as a transient to waive the mandatory autopsy. Documents were falsified by the medical examiner and the San Diego Police Department to remove any evidence of foul play. The medical examiner is deferring to the police, and the police are deferring to the medical examiner. The medical examiner knows there are problems with the death certificate that they filed, but they still haven't revoked the waiver that they issued to the police. And I filed liability claim number 42159 against the city. All of this happened in your jurisdiction. So what are you going to do about it?
Thank you. We'll now hear from the next caller.
All abode, too much abuse. It's costing you when you can least afford it. Arabella McCormick, Andrea Ebbing, Evelyn Lopez, the 150 or more Polinsky Center abuse cases, along with other abuse cases, people and animals, makes me wonder if the board takes care of its own, but ignores all harm to others its policies cause after the vote. And now there's Delilah, who was starved to death at 3 months in 2021 by her unfit adoptive parents. The county created a, quote, safety plan, unquote, but the only actual visit was at 1 month. A child welfare plan without monitoring is not much of a plan. More county neglect. I'm calling for a personal audit of the CFWB, the Child and Family Wellbeing Department, and the other agencies which deal with the public. Let's see if the name change from CPS and CWS to CFWB was worth it. The board chair is also floating possible reforms that could extend time limits for supervisors, including yourself, and make the county's top manager an elected official, creating county mayor. This is being plotted with the Center for Policy Initiatives Director Kyra Green, who suggested declaring racism a public health crisis in the county, saying that the county has a long history of white supremacist organizing and activity. And she said that only women and people of color should run for office for the sake of democracy. The big picture here.
We'll hear from the next caller.
Barbara Gordon. February is all about love, and at this time, the county needs all the love and kindness it can get. As a public health advocate, I want to recognize February as Heart Health Month. We need to take our heart health seriously, as high blood pressure is the most commonly underlying condition identified. We know from research smoking is a major cause of high blood pressure, heart disease, and stroke. Most people with high blood pressure, known as hypertension, don't know they have it because with no symptoms or warning signs, it has earned the nickname as the silent killer. As a Harvard research review published in the Journal of American College of Cardiology found that people who smoke marijuana face a higher risk of dying of complications of high blood pressure than marijuana non-users. High blood pressure is preventable. Daily exercise, healthy diet, and no smoking of any kind, marijuana or tobacco, are the keys to keeping your blood pressure under control. Understanding the risk of tobacco and marijuana use and cardiovascular health is essential. I urge all to keep our hearts healthy. By fostering more tobacco and marijuana prevention messages, we can work towards a healthier and safer community. Thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you. We'll hear from the next caller.
Hey, it's Truth Chukmung Namoy to this county board system built on enslaved staffers because promoted Monica has 15. Interesting to see ethics violator nefarious Nick Machione come crawling back with his new job to get a political prop from his old job. Next, Manuela made an extra dumb social media video about, quote, eliminating the Tijuana River, end quote. What an actual IB resident and farmer said, what kind of river diversion is Manuela Aguirre talking about? Is it the river diversion that we've had for the last 40 years, which captures all sewage in Tijuana and sends it 7 miles south of the border? Or is Manuela suggesting that we capture all of Tijuana sewage and dump it off Imperial Beach untreated? You see, there's a reason Manuela was, again, not invited to Lee Zeldin's recent San Diego visit. Because who in their right mind says eliminate the river when it's been there since the beginning of time as a water source for what used to be the best farming land in the county? See, Manuela's BS ideas to waste tax dollars is the worst sewage to ever hit IB and District 1. Next on the county's animal cruelty, from an email sent on January 8th, 2025 from Rachel Borelli to Michelle French, was Von Marie CC'd, quote, Dog Franklin was euthanized in Carlsbad the day he was returned to the shelter. California Food and Agriculture Code Section 17005 mandates a minimum holding period of 4 days, but not for animals that are relinquished by their owners. The shelter may proceed with adoption or euthanasia without waiting. If the animal is not adoptable, euthanasia will be done as soon as possible. Please let me know if you have any questions. Rachel Borelli, Interim Assistant Director of Animal Services, end quote. Michelle's reply on January 9th, quote, does this policy apply to those that have not signed the release for euthanasia? The Hayden legislation reads that each animal brought into a shelter be held for a minimum of 6 business days to give an opportunity for adoption instead of killing them immediately, end quote. Fire Borelli, and yes, to reduce term limits for this corrupt county board.
Thank you. Now hear from the final caller this morning.
Hey, Consuelo here. So, yeah, this is so disturbing. I got to repeat what Paul just said. The board chair is floating possible reforms that could extend term limits for supervisors, including herself, and make the county's top manager an elected official, creating a county mayor. Holy fuck. This is being plotted with Center for Policy Initiatives Director Kira Green, who suggested declaring racism a public health crisis in the county. It's called ignorance, Kira, okay? Racism, there's only one race, sister. Get a clue. Anyways, okay, back to my speech. Broken record here. Every meeting you begin with the same way, acknowledging Indigenous tribes, honoring the First Nations people, and the land we now call home. And yet everything that follows contradicts that acknowledgement. These proclamations have always been divisive. They keep people neatly categorized, labeled, and separated, placed into boxes while the county continues business as usual. And when it comes to certain groups, suddenly it turns into a spectacle, celebration, and performance instead of real solutions for real human suffering. Meanwhile, there are people in this county, many of whom I meet weekly, sometimes daily, working 2 or 3 jobs, still smiling, still pushing forward, but completely depleted. They're exhausted. They're just trying to stay afloat. This is not how we were meant to live. We are the only species on the planet that pays to exist on it. People need to wake up to the uncomfortable truth that we are not free. You are sugarcoating it. Distract people with technology, entertainment, and endless proclamations, but freedom does not exist when your entire life is traded away in time just to survive. You own nothing. Everything you have was paid for with the hours of your life, and nearly every system in...
Thank you. And Chair Lawson-Remer, that concludes a request for non-agenda public communication this morning. Again, all the remaining speakers will be heard at the conclusion of today's session.
Okay, thank you very much. The next item of our agenda is the approval of minutes, statements of proceedings for the general legislative session of January 27 and January 28th, and minutes for concurrent special district meeting of the San Diego County Fire Protection District of December 9th. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Andrew, please call the vote.
Chair Lawson-Remer, that motion passes unanimously with all supervisors being present and voting aye.
Okay, great. We now proceed with the formation of the consent agenda, items 1 through 13, and fire protection, item 1. All items in the consent agenda are routine and will be acted upon with one motion. Individuals may comment on the consent agenda after the supervisors pull the items they would like for discussion. When any of my colleagues like to pull any items for discussion or for comments on any of the items on the consent agenda. Vice Chair Montgomery Stepp.
No comments at this time. We're going to reserve for public comment.
Okay, great, thank you. Chair Pro Tem Aguirre.
Thank you. I have comments, but I'll wait until after public comment, and then I'd like to pull item 2.
Okay, thank you very much. We have Supervisor Anderson.
I'd like to pull item 7, please.
Okay, we've pulled items 2 and item 7 have been pulled. And Supervisor Desmond.
I have a couple of comments. One might be long, and I'll let the county council decide if I need to pull the item or not, if I get too far on this thing. But item 5, on the appointments to boards and commissions, there's a lot of commissions on there, a lot of them that hardly ever meet or don't meet anymore. And for the Bayshore Bikeway Working Group, which apparently extends into District 5 now. But that is... my staff contacted San Diego, and that entity and that committee no longer exists. So I'd like to ask that that be pulled off.
I'll respond to that. I double checked. It's legally still existent, but it never meets. So I think it's, so we are legally supposed to put someone on it, but it is true, it hasn't met in many years. So I think it's your choice. You know, we could leave it blank. You know, would love to see you as the ghost of Sandag past, but also, it is not meeting, so I think that's really up to you.
We got an email. I don't have it in front of me. Oh, actually, I do. Who's it from? And Antoinette Meyer, Senior Director of Planning, said the Bayshore Bikeway is no longer active.
It's no longer, that's exactly correct. It's not active. That is exactly right. So it is legally in existence, and we're supposed to put someone on it, but it does not meet. Not our fault. This is
sounds like good government there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we'll leave it alone then. On that one, on item 6, this is the one I got some comments on. This one is improving safety and labor standards in county parks. And I have some concerns with this one. You know, I think this should more be geared towards just waterfront park, but unfortunately in the definitions of item 6, it includes all county parks. And so I have a concern there. What I'm mostly concerned with is this item, it doesn't, I'm not clear with this item that it should not apply to community events and smaller events held by community organizations like the rodeos and Renaissance fairs and in the unincorporated areas. Those are run by volunteers, not large production companies. And the two items that it really comes down to are if there's any rigging going on or as part of the setup or tear down, and then if there's 100 amps or more, then it's a high impact event and needs to this all need to apply to. My issue is with the rigging. And what I did is I asked staff, what's the definition of rigging? They sent me to, well, OSHA has the definition for rigging. We looked that up. And rigging can be anything from a rope and a pulley and a weight to a large, rigging is on ships for unfurling the sails. Also at concert venues is for rigging lights and for rigging curtains and things like that. So rigging can be very, very minor. It can be very, very big. And to me, the rigging at a rodeo for rodeo lights or rodeo stands or things like that could be included, and therefore the smaller organizations aren't going to be able to put on their events. We had a similar issue a while back with the contracting, where our contracting was going to be all one big contract for all these events, and we made the unincorporated areas comply to waterfront park plans or contracts, and they couldn't do it. They were starting to cancel them. So I guess what I'm asking for is that we either come back with a better line in the sand about what rigging is or what extent of rigging, or we have 100 amp for electrical, but we don't have, is it 1,000 pounds with rigging? I don't know. What I don't want to have is and I understand staff had told me, well, we don't really apply it out there. Well, but that's the way it's written. And so I don't want what's written to somebody 10 years from now to look at this and say, well, no, now you got to, because there's rigging to hold up these lights, which is basically just a rope and a weight. So I'd like to see this for waterfront park only, or that it doesn't apply to the unincorporated area, or it comes back later. So I guess this would be to the chair, because this was your item, if we could get some more clarity. So I don't want it to cancel concerts and events, not concerts, but events in the unincorporated area.
Just to clarify, it is written to only apply to high impact events.
Yes.
So that's in there. I don't foresee an issue. I don't really want to take an amendment on a problem that might surface in 10 years, but I am certainly open to, if having a report back in a year, and if there's any events that have been canceled because of the regulations, for us to refine them.
Okay, well, it does say in the higher impact events, a tear down of non-permanent rigging. That's it.
Yeah, so high impact events is so basically this is the whole ordinance only applies to high impact events. So
true,
yeah.
But with the definite of and that high impact event is identified as having rigging or a large power system. So, and I don't want any rigging. It should have, in the high power system, it has a line in the sand of 100 amps. So what's the rigging? Maybe it's pounds or something like that. But to me, just to rule out any rigging, because it just says any non.
It looks like Ebony's trying to talk. Go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. If it would be helpful for the board, I'd like to ask Brandon Butler to come forward to just discuss the definition of rigging in this context. That might be helpful for the conversation. Thank you.
Should I have pulled this? It's okay. I don't know, Damon. Okay.
Thank you for the question, Supervisor. And if I may, through the chair, I would start by saying that the definition is consistent with state law, which was already passed by the board in October of 2021, where we passed a board resolution requiring that for all live events that we comply with the, which is Labor Code Section 9251, which puts the definition of, which talks about rigging as requiring that folks are going to need a OSHA certified training. So our definition is actually consistent with state law, as well as consistent with OSHA standards. And so when we talk about rigging in the vernacular, it is talking about moving large, equipment, lighting up in the air, hoisting, lifts. That's where it's always been applied. And this policy that the board passed in 2021, which requires that we comply with state law, it's already been in effect at all the county parks. So all the events that have been taking place since 2021 have had to comply with this requirement, and none of the events that we were just talking about, Supervisor, have triggered any of these types of issues. Because again, rigging, part of the law, and it requires OSHA certification, is the idea of moving large suspension systems, hoisting. It means a lot of things under OSHA.
Well, and I'd like to see that more clarified, because right now it just says rigging, and that could be, and I get it, for large weights, okay.
Okay, I just
But
will
if
say
it's for
this for the
lighting-
record. Thank you so much, Brandon.
Okay.
I appreciate your concern. For the record, legislative intent is that we use state law alignment in how we are writing. So I think that's pretty clear that this has been written in a way to align with state law standards. If that's not clear, just saying it for the record. Jim, Supervisor Desmond, if you get reports over the next year of events being canceled, let's revisit this, but I don't think we need to speculate about what might happen in 10 years. There's a lot of things that might happen in 10 years. So.
I'd like to, Andrew, I'll be registering a no vote on item 6.
Okay.
Thank you.
We got a no vote from Supervisor Desmond. Okay. I just had a comment on one item. Hold on. It was just on the item 1, which is the exemption to competitive procurement to approve public defender contract with Partners for Justice. I just wanted to thank the team. This is a great program. Really excited. And I can't believe that in general, our public defenders are supposed to be overwhelming, incredibly critical for our community, and to think that one person could do it all is just totally unrealistic. So this is a really wonderful program that allows everyone to focus on what they do best. So thank you very much for including this. We will, Supervisor Geary, did you have a comment?
I'll reserve my comments for later.
Okay. We will now move to public comment.
Thank you, Chair Lawson-Remer. We have 18 requests to speak on items on the consent agenda, 8 in person and 10 requesting to speak by phone. Again, as a reminder, items 2, which relates to Fire Protection District item 1, and item 7 were pulled from the consent agenda for discussion. Any individuals that requested to speak on those items, please hold your comments until the board discusses those items. We'll receive public comment on those items separately. Any individuals that requested to speak on the remaining items in the consent agenda by phone, please dial into the conference line now using the instructions that were provided to you. We'll begin with the in-person speakers. As your name is called, please come forward and stand on the arrows until it is your turn to speak at the podium. You will have 2 minutes to address the board, and I'll ask you to begin by stating your name for the audio record. Also, when speaking, please identify which items on the consent agenda you are speaking about. I'll be calling in groups of 3, so I'll ask you to please listen for your name. I'd like to invite forward the first 3 individuals: Cesar Javier, allegedly Audra Fernanda Flores. If I've called your name, please come forward.
Cesar and Purita, we have a stake on this discussion. Number 1, please, we are against this exemption. Contracts, procurement on services we are not qualified to do should be deliberately studied, competitive, in short. Number 2, this item looks like big because it should be all about water. It should be about equipment. It should be about quality of people in the fire department, including the janitor, etc. Number 4 and number 5, God, make our minds, intelligent minds, more powerful appointees of members. Particularly, I give this example. We volunteered on the advisory board, health and aging, health and dying, health and these things, education, these things. There were many vacancies, and we are not approved by this Board of Supervisors for some political reason, like our district for STIP. Number 6, rules, policies should conform, would be in accord with the changing time. Ma'am STIP, you failed us in this. And lastly, which we are craving to discuss, the priority life and death Tijuana River Valley pollution crisis. Mama Gire, it should be here because that's the priority. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please. Allegedly Audra Fernanda Flores. If I've called your name, please come forward. You can come forward in any order, please. Thank you.
Good morning, supervisors. My name is Fernanda Flores. I am the political director with the International Alliance of Theatrical and Stage Employees, Local 122. Thank you so much for your leadership, for leading with values. I am here to speak on item number 6. We are in full support of adopting this resolution as is. Thank you again for your leadership in supporting this back in 2021. We know that the entertainment industry brings millions of dollars into our region. This policy, what it would do, it would add, improve the enforcement mechanisms conducted to ensure that the event productions comply with ensuring that workers are trained, certified, and able to decipher worker safety hazards or dangers on the job. We know that these events are outdoors. Varying weather conditions can make it that much more dangerous. So adopting this policy really strengthens and improves the policy adopted in 2021. Thank you again, Chair Lawson-Remer, for your staff and your dedication, for the Department of OSLE as well, working together to bring this policy forward. So we ask for a yes vote. Thank you so much.
Thank you. As the next speaker is coming forward, I'd like to invite 3 additional speakers, Scott Stover, Rudy Lambaria, and Mark. If I've called your name, please come forward.
I was going to say you left your... Here we go with your San Diego County Child Care and Development Planning Council that should be abolished because HHS and CFWB traffic children. You guys traffic humans from cradle to grave. It's interesting, and yet we have this council that is, you know, taking human trafficking training, good thing, right, to make sure they can spot it, right? But that doesn't happen, right, Elizabeth or Alfredo? Right. It's interesting because, I mean, shouldn't Arabella, McCormick, and Delilah be enough to make you guys go, yes, there is a problem, even though there's current problems right now with the families that you're ripping apart and hiding sexual abuse of. But children being starved to death when they have even encountered the agency, and it's funny because, you know, Alfredo will send, and it was Kimberly at the time, but people, little social workers to the hospital to come kidnap infants, twin infants. How cool is that, right? But then when there's actually abuse happening, you guys are like, you know what, we're just gonna turn a blind eye to it because we don't get funding if we stop it. But we do get funding if we continue it because then, you know, there's therapy that these children need. You know, keeping them in a foster situation. Lots of money that comes in from that. Title IV funding. Right, Elizabeth? Yes. Yes, so you guys are gonna continue to traffic children. More children are gonna continue to die. Can you imagine being a 3-month-old at less than 4 pounds when you're supposed to be 14? Or an 11-year-old who's 48 pounds, which is like the size of a 5-year-old. But hey, nothing to see here. Doesn't happen, right? As long as we pull wool over people's eyes, you guys are going to hell.
Next speaker, please. If I've called your name, please come forward.
Hi, my name is Scott Stover. I work with IATSE 122 as a stagehand, and we work all over the place. One of the places that we work is right there. My main concern as an employee is safety when I show up. Our productions move very, very quickly, and it's up and it's down and it's gone by the time most people even think about it. Not only is it important that our employees stay safe? It's of top priority that our the people coming to the shows are also safe. It's very important. We're looking at a yes vote for the Section 6, and it would help everybody in the safety aspect. I mean, it's really, safety is of everybody's concern, and I would appreciate a yes vote. Thank you.
Thank you. As the next speaker is coming forward, I'll invite the remaining speakers in person, Juan Perez and Greg Soez-Drzal.
I am for.
Mark, I want to thank Audra for posting this documentary. I was on her side and still had no idea how corrupt CPS is until I saw this documentary, Never in America by Ryan Mata, on rumble.com and YouTube. Here are some bullet points this film makes about Child Protective Services. 1, provision in the law that they are required to file for a termination of parental rights. 2, the baby was left alone for long periods and baby's skin was burned from laying in its own vomit. 3, the hospitals and CPS get a lot of money as soon as the child is separated from the parents and no warrant is required. 4, police, doctors, and hospitals lie and the judge agrees in court and the news favors what they say. 5, states put quotas on their caseworkers to find abuse accusations they can make. 6, the shelter care hearing hides information on cases behind confidentiality laws and places gag orders on parents. A criminal has more rights than a parent in these courts. 7, at the direction of their county supervisors, CPS is a business which gets more money for removing more children. 8, the right for states to take your child began in 1974 with CAPTA, but few children were taken from their parents until 1997, when Adoption and Safe Families Act gave funding through the federal government and unlimited funding for hospitals through Medicare and Medicaid, making it extremely profitable. 9, under Title 4D of the Social Security Act, the federal government is essentially paying CPS agencies every time they accuse someone of abuse, whether the allegation is true or not. About 443,000 children were removed by CPS yearly, and state government gets reimbursements based on the rate of adoptions. 10, government, police, hospitals, and CPS have immunity for violating your constitutional rights to take your children. 11, every celebrity, politician, or independent journalist that tried to expose CPS has died, including Senator Nancy Schaefer of Georgia, who was shot dead in her home right before plans to release her documentary on.
Thank you. Your time is up. Next speaker, please.
Hey everybody, good morning. Chair, Supervisors, my name is Juan Perez. I'm the organizer with IATSE Local 122, the Stagehands Union, the union behind entertainment. These large concerts, high-impact events bring big crowds, big dollars, and big opportunity, but too often the economic benefits leave with out-of-state contractors while San Diego workers are left behind. This ordinance includes a good faith local hire requirement. That means that these jobs, these hundreds of jobs per event, can help San Diegans build real careers. It supports a skilled workforce that keeps our region competitive for major events, film, and TV production. When we invest in workers here, we're investing in San Diego's cultural and economic future. This is about making sure the people who build the stage also share in the spotlight. Public lands should lift up the public. Let's keep these good jobs here in our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hello again, Supervisors. My name is Greg Soez-Drzal. I'm the president of the IATSE Local 122, and I want to speak in favor of item 6. It is important that we keep our stages safe in San Diego. This council I want to acknowledge that in 2021 we passed this, and this made it all the way to the state, which is what really broadened safety standards statewide. What item 6 is trying to do is to put the teeth behind it to make sure that people are following those rules. I understand that, you know, a lot of people don't realize that this industry doesn't have a lot of safety standards behind it. They think it's just like construction. Construction has tons of safety standards behind it. Our industry doesn't have that. This is the first time that we've actually put something forward, and that's why we're trying to push this with some more teeth to make sure that this gets done appropriately and people stay safe on the job site. So I want to say thank you for taking the steps that you have so far. I hope that you can vote this through today so that we can keep things safe, and I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you. And final call for Rudy Lambaria. Not seeing any movement in the chamber. We'll now hear from those that requested to speak by phone. Again, when it is your turn to speak, you will be unmuted and you will hear a recording that will tell you to begin your comments. We will start with our first caller.
All aboard. We would pay item 9. We would pay $10,500 a month this year for a 781 square foot increase on the auto theft lease, with our costs increasing to $31,500 per month next year. That's outrageous. Number 1. The board letter says that advocates would assist with obtaining mental health and substance abuse treatment, assessing eligibility and enrolling in public benefits, obtaining employment, and accessing emergency housing resources. But there are other problems like cell phone or computer addiction or just plain social incompatibility. The board letter does not address these. This sort of counseling is probably best left to HHSA, the housing people, or behavioral health, not a sole source provider of duplicate services. 6, an ordinance, both readings, but especially the first reading, does not belong on the consent calendar at all. Public speakers should have the full 2 minutes to discuss an ordinance, not an average of 10 seconds per item if there are 12 items on consent, especially if you interrupt random because you can't decipher what the subject was from the words on the title, taxis or whatever the subject is, like was done to me on January 27th. I do not know why you define higher impact events as temporary in section 21.2802E. It appears that this leaves out work on. Thank
you. Hear from the next caller. Next caller is Truth.
Hey, it's Truth. Item 1, $400,000 to Partners for Justice or Partners for Profit. Is this extra service for kids locked up in juvie, or is it just attorneys having to do less work? Item 3, for decades, MTS has apparently not been abiding by county code and not processing criminal history information on for-hire drivers. So yes to giving authority to sheriffs where it belongs. Item 4, considering the scandals coming out of Polinsky and closed session cases, the County Child Care and Development Council needs a huge audit. Item 5, the hidden appointment roster shows the most stipends for the least work now goes to Joel with 6 paid appointments. But why the heck is Jim okay with being on the Bayshore Bikeway? That's Manuela's trash. Make her take it back. And why is Tara on the selection committee for ITALK when she fails to even show up? And item 6, Jim, here's a joke. Everyone on this board should be well acquainted with the term rigging. Seriously, yes, rigging can be as simple as putting tape on cables or stringing up some lights. It's not about safety. It's about money. So no to wasting $165,000 to force rig grifter union demands of an unrealistic $25 minimum wage for private business already paying to use public land. If you guys can't even keep safe labor standards at local restaurants that are using illegal slave labor, how are you going to manage safe labor standards at parks? Item 8. No to cheating people of $278,000 in non-county money. If it's not yours, why have you been wrongly holding on to it? Why not refund it all to every registered county citizen? Item 11, no to a county pollution crisis chief getting paid $200,000 a year to talk about use of studies and no to a deputy chief financial officer getting paid $297,000 a year to do nothing. Item 10, no to selling 11 acres of land for $15 million to build ugly, unaffordable stack attacks shoved into the city of Santee against their consent. Nobody wants the corrupt county's drug addicts and sex offenders that nearby dangerous Edgemoor already provides. Hence the $60,000 just to clean up homeless drug tents. Edgemoor houses sex offenders.
Thank you. We'll hear from the next caller.
Okay, Consuelo. Yeah, here we go again. More significant items buried in consent. Nothing new to the ones paying attention. All right, so item 8. Let's see. Okay, so you seem remarkably efficient when it comes to hunting people down for what they owe you, but where is that same urgency you owe the public? If someone misses a tax payment, you track them relentlessly, like I said, but when property or funds are unclaimed, suddenly the responsibility shifts away from the county. And yeah, you got to hunt them down. Yeah, you should hunt them down, the ones you owe, the way you hunt them down when, you know, the taxes are due. Yeah, another one. Let's see. Appointment of San Diego County Child Care. Okay, so stop pretending child care in this county is care. It is anything but. What you should be appointing is an independent auditor. Abuse, neglect, and systematic failures are far more common than this board is willing to admit. And the public has become dangerously desensitized to it. And that's a fact. That's so sad. Yeah, that should definitely terrify every parent in our county. And let's see. Okay, communications received. Okay, public communication matters. It would be fantastic if you use local media to actually encourage residents to show up or watch these meetings, so the agencies you oversee know the public is paying attention. But yeah, you won't, because that doesn't happen due to an informed and engaged public. That would be so inconvenient for you. Counterproductive, really, especially when it's clear.
Thank you. We'll hear from the next caller.
Good morning. My name is Becky Rapp. I'm a public health educator, and I'd like to speak to item number 4. Thank you for your work on appointing members to advisory councils that shape services for children and families across our county. But as you consider these appointments, I urge you to prioritize members with a strong understanding of drug prevention and the mental health impacts of substance use, particularly marijuana, on children, adolescents, and pregnant women. Prevention works best when it begins early. An evidence-based education during pregnancy and early childhood reduces long-term harm, supports healthy brain development, and strengthens the family. Our local emergency departments and behavioral health providers are seeing the consequences firsthand. Clinicians at Rady Children's Hospital routinely treat young children for marijuana exposure, often due to unintentional ingestion of edibles. Emergency and behavioral health specialists are also caring for adolescents experiencing serious mental health symptoms and repeated vomiting associated with cannabinoid hyperemesis syndrome. These are preventable harms, and that's why it's critical that advisory councils include healthcare providers, especially emergency department clinicians and behavioral health specialists who understand both prevention and real-world impacts. Dr. Natalie Lobb from Rady Children's Hospital, who studies pediatric marijuana exposure, would bring invaluable expertise. Thank you for your focus on the health of San Diego County's children. Thank you.
Thank you. Hear from the next caller.
Hey, how you guys doing? I hope you read all the documents that I provided you. And thank you, Jim, for bringing up that key point on what they're really doing. They go ahead and set it up. You know, after we have a faulty election through the vote by mail process, they're able to go in and pass laws statewide to go ahead and, in the future, you are right. In the future, they could selectively enforce these rules. That's it. They could go ahead and charge people that they don't like more money just because they went ahead and made these loose laws for interpretation. Isn't that correct? And Monica won't go ahead and acknowledge Julian Brown because she's more interested in the stocks that will go when we go ahead and hand over $800 billion to the tech industry for private use, which could have been used to reduce our taxes and basically put Julian Brown in the history books. 17-year-old kid that came up with this idea, made a working prototype, and the actions of California making an assembly bill to prevent us from even talking about it. At the same time, Congress decides to go ahead and fund 2 universities to build it, and guess what? They're done, aren't they? Ready to go to commercial use, right? That's why silver jumped up and then being shorted by the graphene market, because graphene will go ahead and replace all the lithium batteries that you forced upon us when we begged you not to because of the fire hazards, and that they're poor batteries to do that. There's better technology that you knew about since 2020, but yet you wasted our money so that you could waste it again to enrich the corporations and hurt us in the process. That is a fact. You don't believe me? I'll show you all the documentation. I've been tracking every...
Hear from the next caller.
Good morning, Board of Supervisors. This is Ann Riddle. I called in today to address consent item 4. I think we all appreciate the county's care by establishing the County Child Care and Development Planning Council. But I'm concerned about some of the selection process that's reflected in the membership list. The narrative says that 4% of this council will be Asian, whereas 14% of our county is Asian. And it says that Black Americans on this council will make up 16%, but only 5% of our population is Black, and so forth. I don't expect that the optics of this maybe has been as carefully examined as it should, but for those of us who live in the backcountry, something that we've begun to notice, particularly all of us independent voters, is the county's choosing one group over another or emphasizing one group over the other, unincorporated residents being the group that always seems to be neglected. So we think that more attention to appropriate representation on these councils should be under consideration. And I think it's probably a false narrative to say that this makeup of the council resembles the demographics of San Diego County, because that just isn't true. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll hear from the final caller.
Hi, my name is Andrea Ebbing. I'm speaking to consent agenda. Looks like it is 4 for the children, the appointment of the San Diego County Child Care and Development Planning Council. Well, you have, thank you, Paul Gold, for mentioning it earlier. You have several cases right here in front of you in which the children are being tortured by the county and the agencies that are making it happen. So what's the point of forming a council when you can't even handle what's in front of you? You had a child abduction take place after a felony strangulation when a man who strangled the mother, me, drove them across the country on a permanently suspended license, subsequently got full custody, full protection, UCC JEA hearing, brought the girls back home to San Diego. But what did our county and city do? They covered it up. They covered it up and allowed my children to be abducted and tortured, and same with me, okay? And our district attorney is a menace to society, and if she can't handle her job, maybe this commission or group can do it for her, because she's not. these little kids I hear about, Malaya and her sister, are you serious? You have cases right in front of you that you refuse to work on. So what's the point? Is it just to show you did something? And then the public defender's office partner with the justice, whatever this justice thing is. Let me tell you about that justice thing. It's because something called body brokering is illegal. So what they do is create this coalition, this public justice coalition or whatever it is. And the only thing they're doing is rehab placements for the public defender's office, which was caught for body brokering with these rehab owners. Everyone involved in the criminal justice system with these wraparound services doesn't want to have the napalm all over them that is now present and everyone can see it. So they use these types of partnerships to funnel these placements through, and then they funnel the kickbacks through another route, like the Family Justice Center, which some are stuff in our...
Thank you. And Chair Lawson-Remer, that concludes public comment on the items on the consent agenda.
Okay, thank you all very much. We had Supervisor Desmond registered a no vote on item 6. And do we have a motion and a second for the remainder? Oh, you have some comments. Go ahead, Supervisor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I want to speak on item 1 first. This action is a step in the right direction. I think embedding client advocates has reduced the strain on attorneys, improved coordination of services, and led to better outcomes for youth and families. So I just want to express that I am committed to continuing to work to fully support and fund the Public Defender's Office the way it deserves. Then I'd like to make a comment on item 6, which is an item that the chair and myself brought forward. Large-scale events in our county parks bring joy, culture, and economic vitality, but they also present serious risks if safety and labor standards aren't enforced. So the workers who make these events possible, we heard from them today. Thank you for coming out and sharing your perspective. Workers like stagehands, technicians, production crews are often temporary, subcontracted, and vulnerable, as was mentioned. Without clear enforcement, these workers are left without protection. This ordinance is a clear message that San Diego County stands with workers, supports responsible businesses, and ensures that everyone benefits from the success of these events. So I want to thank everybody who came out and spoke in support of this, and I enthusiastically will support this item. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Do you have any additional comments?
Chair, I just want to move the balance of the consent agenda.
Okay, thank you so much. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Please vote.
And for the record, that includes items 1, 3 through 6, and 8 through 13, as items 2, Fire Protection District 1, and item 7 were pulled. Chair Lawson-Remer, that motion passes unanimously with all supervisors being present and voting aye, noting for the record that Supervisor Desmond registered a no vote on item 6.
Okay, fantastic. So it's 11:30. We're now going to move on to our discussion items. What we had on the discussion agenda was items 14, 15, 16, but we now also have items 2 and 7 that have been pulled. So we'll take everything in order. We'll begin with item 2. And we're going to take item 2 along with Fire Protection District 1 because they're very much the same item. So we'll combine item 2 and Fire Protection District item 1. Let's go ahead and begin with public comment on this item. Thanks.
Thank you, Chair Lawson-Remer. We have 14 requests to speak on this item, 6 in person and 8 requesting to speak by phone. Also note for the record that we received 2 e-comments, 1 in support and 1 neutral. For any individuals that requested to speak on item 2 and Fire Protection District item 1 by phone, please dial into the conference line using the instructions that were provided to you. We'll begin with the in-person speakers. As your name is called, please come forward and stand on the arrows until it is your turn to speak at the podium. Because there are 10 or more speakers on this item, you'll have 1 minute to address the board. I'll ask you to begin by stating your name for the audio record. I'll be calling you groups 3, so ask you to please listen for your name. I'd like to invite forward the first 3 individuals, Cesar Javier, allegedly Audra, and Corey Schumacher. If I've called your name, please come forward.
Cesar and Purita, item number 2. I touched this by scratching the surface. I came as an immigrant in 1999, and I noticed the fire crisis seasonal. And then with my acquaintance with engineering, urban planning, education, I said, wow, this is a challenge. We need water. We need water. And I noticed that this has been a discussion since we are engaged in the city, county, APCD, and Sandag. Water, water, water. I think we missed the, the football goals. My God, may you be helped. May we be helped to find the solution. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
You guys need to quit putting things that are a first reading on the consent calendar. That is not routine to be doing this with fire codes, yet you guys continue to do that so that there is no discussion, that there is no opportunity for even people to really come forward and talk about it separately, but you guys don't want to hear from the people, so I mean, that's the whole point. And if you really cared about, you know, fires and whatnot, you guys wouldn't be implementing things that are literally putting people in danger like you did in Rancho Bernardo or wherever it was, and the fire chief came and lied to you guys saying that it was a safe thing to put like double the amount of people with a one-way in and a one-way out, when he told the community that it would not pass today if it was brought forward today. But because it was something from the past, you guys go ahead and pass it, putting people in danger. So it's like you don't give a shit about nothing.
Thank you. As the next speaker is coming forward, I'd like to invite 3 additional speakers, Fernanda Flores, Mark, and Kelvin Barrios. If I've called your name, please come forward.
Good morning, Supervisors. My name is Corey Schumacher. I'm the Policy Director at IBEW 569, representing 3,800 union electricians and power professionals in San Diego County and Imperial County. I rise before you today to urge you to ensure that minimum workforce safety standards are included in the 2026 Consolidated Fire Code. In an EPRI report that was included in the county's best practices, the data analysis revealed that assembly, integration, and construction are the main root causes of battery energy storage failures. Minimum workforce safety standards would directly address these root causes. Communications with the fire district last year confirmed that the board of supervisors can direct staff to include minimum workforce safety standards in the 2026 Consolidated Fire Code. So today we would urge you to initiate this process to protect our communities, our climate future, and the workers of San Diego County. Thank you.
Thank you. If I've called your name, please come forward. Fernanda Flores, Mark, and Calvin Barrios.
Good morning, Supervisors. My name is Fernanda Flores, Political Director with IATSE Local 122. I also stand here in support in the spirit of centering worker safety in support of item number 2, so long that the worker safety standards are included. And we stand in solidarity with our siblings with IBEW and all others that will come in front of you and speak today. So thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good morning, Chair and members of the board. My name is Kelvin Barrios. I'm here to speak on behalf of the Laborers Union and our nearly 5,000 members and my business manager, Valentin Macedo, regarding the soon-to-be proposed workforce direction for battery energy storage systems. We support strong work safety standards. However, we cannot support moving forward with language developed with broader transparency and engagement from all safety stakeholders, not just a select few. Most of these projects are built under a project labor agreement with the building trades. These agreements already require certified tradespeople, state-approved apprenticeship training, and strict enforceable safety protocols tailored to energy storage and emerging technologies. This proposal creates a one-size-fits-all mandate without recognizing the existing framework or the practical consequences. Safety is best improved through collaboration with labor, industry experts, and county staff. We respectfully ask for a working group on this item. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Mark, I don't want to ratify the Consolidated Fire Code because it ignores this.
Just recently pulled up, it stated that Newsom vetoed a bill to enhance fire mitigation so he could grab the land for affordable housing. This was a bill that was introduced in 2020, SB 182. It was authored by then State Senator Hannah Beth Jackson, a Democrat from Santa Barbara, whose district had just suffered the Thomas fire. This bill sought to increase local planning requirements and guidelines for permitting development in certain fire hazard severity zones. But what happened to that bill? It passed through both the Senate and the House. It was actually a very good bill. What happened? Mr. Newsom vetoed it. Why did he veto it? Because it did not comport with his idea of getting rid of single-family homes and pushing people into multifamily homes. And in his veto letter, he actually stated, wildfire resilience must become a more consistent part of land use and development decisions. However, whenever a politician uses the word however.
See this article or YouTube video. This is a crime. This is about time.
Thank you. We'll now hear from those that requested to speak by phone. Again, when it is your turn to speak, you'll be unmuted and you'll hear a recording that will tell you to begin your comments. We will start with our first caller.
All aboard. Overall, it looks good, but there are a few things which could be better. I'm glad you included the best test, attachment E, section 104.2.2.5. However, it needs to be done on best facilities over 250 kilowatts at the minimum, like the one in Otay Mesa, which burned for 6 weeks, sucking up fire department resources, displacing residents, costing a lot of money. Section 105.5.5, 54.2, hazmat disposal should be modified to include waste known to be flammable, such as most mill waste or chemical waste, as well as green waste. I also note that Section 503 calls for paved fire apparatus access roads capable of carrying a...
Thank you. From the next caller.
Hey, it's truth on item 2 and whatever the other item is, because you guys just put everything together. And in fact, you put a new ordinance into consent because you don't want anyone to talk about anything, and that's just a sign of the county's lack of ethics and transparency. And then enter the grifting unions to collect the corrupt checks, profiting off homeowners' plight. No to progressive requirements that go beyond the state's fraudulent fire codes that includes things like the destruction of people's plants and requiring water tanks as a cop-out for having working fire hydrants. Because that's what this is. The county shirking its public safety responsibilities. The county should be investing in putting water sources on mountaintops for easy fire response, but no, they expect homeowners to suddenly shell out thousands for new requirements. In an environment where the county and state have enabled severe fire risk by also not clearing out drug encampments, not clearing flammable brush, introducing flammable wind turbines, flammable electric vehicles, flammable battery energy storage sites, not fixing the broken dams, not ensuring the filling of empty reservoirs, not fully funding fire response, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Thank you. Hear from the next caller.
Okay, thank you, Mark, for that and for the other concerned people of our county, the very few. Okay, so let's just see. 1 minute. 2 items. Okay, great. Here we go. I'll take this time to acknowledge something that should be burnt to a crisp, and that is this backwards inverted system that only protects itself and not the people they claim to represent. And since the majority are not paying attention, the system will continue to screw them over. That is the consequence for their passiveness. Did I do it under a minute? Woo! And with time to spare. Holy shit. Okay, I'm done. Thank you.
We'll hear from the next caller.
Hi, this is Jim Whalen, J. Whalen Associates. We represent most of the large renewables projects in the region. As such, we execute project labor agreements with as many as 7 different unions. The unions negotiate fiercely over who does what work. I just heard this morning the Board of Supervisors is discussing adding language to the fire code that may favor one union over another. I would have been there in person, except I just found out this morning. This is concerning as it's more than likely we'll end up with a situation where our project labor agreements conflict with the county's fire code. So before adopting these changes to the fire code, I recommend that there be a working group established to thoroughly think this through. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hear from the next caller.
Hi, this is Andrea Ebbing, and I am commenting on the fire code. I want to know if, I want to state that 100 homeowners in Ramona, San Vicente Golf Course area, have their fire insurance or homeowners insurance revoked. So I don't know if these updated fire codes are going to hurt them or help them or what, but we need to consider them. And then one thing I just wanted to say is that maybe for commercial use and in nightclubs, nobody should be walking around with gigantic flammable sparklers that can, result in what happened in Switzerland. I think that should be included, something about, not lighting the interior of a space on fire with hundreds of people in it. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll hear from the final caller.
I don't really blame insurance companies for bouncing out of California because we basically told everyone, get out of your gas car, buy a lithium battery vehicle, that if it overheats, it will catch on fire, and there is no possible way to put it out with water. I mean, well, you can. You have to completely and utterly drown it. That's what they did to the battery plants, which just seeps a bunch of toxic materials into the ground. Basically, you're just screwing over our county with every single decision you make. Let's go ahead and throw concrete over things to go ahead and increase the heat and humidity and all that stuff. No water. Like, do you think about long-term on your decisions, or are you just looking for the quick fix, quick money, quick that? I mean, I could go ahead and give you the details on what happened to the flooding and all that stuff through evidence, through your inactions and through your policy making. And the fact that you're still encouraging people to throw concrete over their front yard instead of having.
Thank you. And Chair Lawson-Remer, that concludes public comment on these items.
Okay. Thank you all very much. And I do appreciate everybody here participating in this item today, which is obviously extremely important for the safety and well-being of our community. I know that issues around fires have been really critical. And I also really appreciate the focus on workplace and workplace standards that was elevated by a number of the speakers. So seeing, I guess, Supervisor Geary, raise your hand.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have some remarks. So I appreciate the significant effort that our county staff has made to develop the interim guidelines on battery energy storage systems. And I do commend Chief Meacham for their adoption. As BESS technology becomes more prevalent across the county as a necessary part of our renewable energy future, fire safety must remain a top priority, and I think we all agree on that. Our county's own analysis highlights the integration, assembly, and construction of BESS as the leading root cause of BESS failures. The complexity and unique safety challenges associated with battery, energy storage, and microgrid systems require specialized training. Certified electricians should be heavily involved in BESS construction. They have specific knowledge and hands-on skills needed to safely assemble, install, test, commission, maintain, repair, retrofit, and decommission these systems. This emergent technology requires a prudent approach to fire safety so that we prevent devastating fires like the one that took place in my district and the one that took place in Escondido. So with that in mind, I'd like to make a motion to pass the fire code as is and have the as the Board of Supervisors, this does not prevent future amendments at a later date. I make a motion to add a recommendation as follows, and I think Andrew's gonna put it up and give you a moment to read. But basically it is to direct the Chief Administrative Officer to work with staff and County Council to return back within 60 days on the feasibility and options to incorporate minimum workforce safety standards for BESS. The report should include the feasibility of minimum workforce safety standards for all stages of the BESS life cycle by requiring a certified electrician perform all electrical work involving the installation, assembly, testing, commissioning, maintenance, repair, retrofitting, and decommissioning of a BESS facility or energy storage management system. Second, require a minimum percentage of the on-site certified electricians performing electrical work involving the installation, assembly, testing, commissioning, maintenance, repair, retrofitting, and decommissioning of a BESS facility or ESMS be certified in energy storage and microgrid training and certification, or otherwise known as ESAM Tech. I'll also add, I don't think this is about pitting one union over another, as one of the public commenters stated. This is about safety and making sure that all unions that are part of these processes, making sure that they have the required training and sufficient training so that we make sure that we prevent future fires from happening. That is the most important thing about this item. Now, I would also like to make direct a question to our General Counsel. Do you believe that this amendment is germane to the item we are considering today?
Testing. I think this is the first time I've had to speak, so apologies for the technical.
Welcome.
Thank you. Madam Chair Pro Tem, yes, this would be an appropriate discussion and proposal for the item as agendized today.
At this time, so we can actually decide on this today.
As the motion has been stated, yes.
Thank you very much. I yield back, Madam Chair.
Supervisor Desmond?
I don't need to comment. I had other comments. Not necessarily on the proposed amendment here, but I just want to thank staff and all the hard work for the fire code that you're bringing forward here today. I understand most of the changes were very administrative. I'm glad to hear there's going to be more enforcement done for those who signed on regarding vacant lots that are overgrown and pose a fire risk to the surrounding communities, particularly in the unincorporated areas. I want to say thanks to all the fire chief and fire marshals and the firefighters here in San Diego County. We're grateful for all the work that you do. But thank you very much.
Vice Chair Montgomery Stepp.
Thank you, Chair, for the recognition. Chair Pro Tem, thank you for this additional proposed amendment. There were a couple of comments. Thank you, everyone, for coming out to speak on this item. There were a couple of comments that I just want to be sure that I acknowledge, and that is covered by the language here, because I do think that this language is very specific. The intent, of course, I'm agreeable to. My issue is making sure that all stakeholders are at the table through these discussions. And the base language, if we're going to look at the feasibility of incorporating these standards, I may want to make sure that we are as broad as possible to include all of the stakeholders. So that's my only issue with this. And so I don't know offhand how we could include or modify in order to meet that intent.
I absolutely would be open to that. I know someone suggested that creating a working group type. I'd be open to that.
Yeah, I think that would, I think, leave us in just as good of a place. That's me personally. So let me, go ahead, Chair.
You know, that's my favorite, right? To work with staff, county council, and a stakeholder working group.
There you go.
I'll second the motion. With the amendment.
Through the chair, if I may, just before you all take a vote.
We're not ready yet.
Oh, okay, just in terms of feedback on the language, I think the staff had some feedback too on engagement opportunities and potentially requesting additional time to allow for that stakeholder engagement.
Would 90 days suffice?
Bren, or
instead of 60?
Chair Pro Tem, yes, 90 days would suffice. We could.
I'm okay
have
changing
something
it to
done in
90.
days.
Just a quick point of clarification because there's a motion and now a second. So I want to make sure the motion and second are moving the same thing as we're trying to get the stakeholder working group language in the motion. Is that? I
Does
guess
the
I'll go to
second, would the
supervisor.
second be amenable to the change?
I don't see the specific change.
We're adding a stakeholder working group and we're increasing the days from 60 to 90 to give staff
Hallelujah.
more time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Supervisor Anderson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have two quick questions. We have a fire protection district agenda item coming up. How does this have any impact on that agenda item? I don't think it will, but I just want to confirm that.
Is Chief Meacham here? Do you want to answer that, sir?
Hey, good morning, Supervisors. Just for clarification, I want to make a technical point that the Consolidated Fire Code involves the County Fire Protection District and our 13 independent neighboring fire districts. And so the code we're adopting today will apply to all fire protection agencies in the unincorporated areas. Should you wish to consider best guidelines, I think we need to be very clear on where that where those standards are going to reside. If we want them to apply across the unincorporated area, I think we need to have further discussions with council about if they reside there or another location. Otherwise, we would have to return back to the working group of the 13 independent fire districts for consideration of the best guidelines. So from my standpoint, I think we're covered. I will defer to council, and I do appreciate the 90 days to engage with all of those stakeholders so we can ensure we're on the correct path to bring something back to you. Thank you.
Madam
Supervisor
Chair,
Anderson.
in the follow-up, while we do say stakeholders, I would just want to make sure that the stakeholders include fire safety folks such as Chief Meacham or a fire marshal or somebody who actually puts fires out.
Okay. Please go ahead, Supervisor.
I definitely agree with that, and I want to be specific about stakeholder working group, all trades and other stakeholders involved, but specifically additional trades. I think that's important.
I'm okay with that change if the seconder is as well. Thank you.
So just clarifying for legislative purposes, Vice Chair Montgomery Stepp is making it clear that when she talks about stakeholders, she's talking about all impacted building trades, and that Supervisor Anderson is talking about people who put out fires and deal with fires. Okay, that makes sense. I have a question actually for council. Just trying to make sense of something. I just wanted to know, is this at all like impacted or preempted in any way by state law? I know that there's like a whole state legal regime on these questions. So if you could, I mean, I think I want to be clear, like obviously I think we all share the commitment to higher workplace standards and higher safety standards. This is something this board has been working on for a long time, and very much appreciate Chief Meacham's leadership in sort of just making it happen and not making us all delayed for eons. So thank you so much. This is, third, fourth time we've heard this. So this is very helpful. But I wanted to get a little bit more clarity on how this sort of intersects with with state law standards.
Thank you, Chair Lawson-Remer. As far as state law is concerned, counties have the power to regulate the quality and the character of installations that are made by contractors through systems of permits and inspections. They don't have the power to enact regulations that relate to qualifications for contractors. What this motion would do is it would allow us to look at where there is not preemption and to try to find solutions that would work without contravening state law, which does have some limitations built in.
Okay, that's very helpful. I think I would just want to make sure that the sort of intent here, I would imagine that, but is to do exactly that, would be to be in alignment with state law and not bring something back that contravenes state law?
Absolutely.
Okay. As long as sort of being in alignment with state law standards is the intent here, then I think this is something I can support. So. Vice Chair Montgomery Stepp.
I don't think I remember now, but I think it was wanting clarity from the chief around the state process. But you said with the 90 days, and that gives you enough time to be able to give feedback. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Supervisor Anderson.
Thank you for recognizing me, although I forgot to push the button.
I'm getting psychic up here.
So so this working group and everybody's going to be looking at items A and B exclusively, is that correct? Or are they looking at everything involved in BESS?
They're just supposed to, like, my reading of this, and I defer, of course, to the maker of the motion, is that this is looking at workforce safety standards for BESS. Not all regulations related to BESS, but workforce safety standards as it relates to BESS. Is that in alignment with your understanding? As a seconder? Okay. Well, thank you all very much. I think the only thing I would just to follow up on my questions, I definitely don't want us to be back here with a bunch of recommendations that are not in alignment with sort of generally recognized California state certification standards, and we end up in some sort of do loop around this. So, but I think this is great, and I appreciate my colleague for taking the initiative to always use the opportunity to put in higher workplace and safety standards. So thank you so much. Yeah. With that, we have a motion and a second.
Chair Lawson-Remer, that motion passes unanimously with all supervisors being present and voting aye.
Okay, thank you all very much. We will now move on to item 7. And as Supervisor Anderson is the one who pulled this, would you like to make any comments?
I don't need a presentation.
He would not like a presentation, but he has some comments.
I do, and what I'd like to do is offer a friendly amendment to this item, directing the CAO to use the $313,012 in unclaimed property tax refunds to be used towards our shallow rent subsidy. We're coming to the end. Our needs are greater than ever before, and I wanted to see this be help expand that program. That's my friendly amendment. If my colleagues would second it, then we could vote on it.
Can you just repeat the?
So we have a shallow
or do you have
rent
it
subsidy.
to put up on the board? If not, you can just repeat it.
I
Okay.
don't.
Apparently, Andrew will write it for you. He's fast.
I'm simply taking the $312 and asking that it be applied, this newfound money applied to the shallow run subsidy.
I support that.
I accept that as a second. Thank you.
Can I ask staff, what would that otherwise go towards?
Thank you. Through the chair, those resources would fall to the general fund. So they will be a part of the year-end calculation as it relates to any amounts that we have available in our unassigned fund balances, for example.
So I'm sure you have a budget, and there was a tracker for the $313,000, because we know that's how you work. So what was the plan? So where is that money already slated to go? Where would it disappear from?
At this point in the budget planning process, we haven't identified a particular area, but we know that we have a large amount of one-time funding needs. We've heard updates from our Chief Financial Officer, Joan Brockie, who happens to be here in the room as well, that there are significant requests that we have outstanding for general fund resources, including unlocked reserves, as well as any amounts that we might have available in unassigned fund balances above our minimums. That could include capital improvements, for example, operational needs, and or bridge funding, for example, to help us sustain operations as we navigate through uncertainties like HR 1, et cetera.
I mean, I would love to get, if we can, just get some more clarity on that. I think I was an initial author of this program with my colleague, Joel Anderson, and love it. But I also acknowledge we're in a really difficult fiscal environment, and the notion of making decisions in a vacuum about money in one-off ways, given the huge number of competing uses, makes me a little uncomfortable. So it would be very helpful if we could get a sense of what else is on the plate that this kind of takes the money away from.
Thank you. We're happy to, in our second quarter update, which is scheduled to come to your board on March the 3rd, to include an update on our outlook and anticipated needs that we have for one-time resources. This action, unless your board took other action today, would require us to come back in any event to establish appropriation, and we would do that through that same action.
So this would not appropriate today. It would just include in a framework of possible appropriations at our next budget adjustment. That's correct. And when is that upcoming budget adjustment?
March 3rd.
Okay, so just to be, so this vote today would essentially have allowed this potential use of $313,000 to be included as one of many potential uses of fund balance when you come back on March 3rd. Is that correct?
That is correct. And on March 3rd, we will share an update of what our one-time needs are as it relates to other competing interests for uses of fund balance. And we would also include action that would be required to take appropriation action to move forward with this, assuming your board takes affirmative action today.
Okay, thank you so much. Supervisor Desmond.
Was that your motion?
Repeat it again because it was said many times, so I'm not sure which version.
Well, it sounds like it's going from being specifically directed to it's being a possibility of going there. Is it what?
Well, I was specifically directing it, but if that's inappropriate without it coming back, I'm trying to do what we can do that's within the confines of the law. Perhaps our county council can intervene.
Then I have a follow-up.
Is your question about the action that can be taken today?
Can we direct it today, or does it have to be directed to come back?
It would be appropriate to make the motion. I'm saying it's not outside of the scope of the notice provided for this item. So if that was your intention.
So that was my original motion was, thank you, Supervisor Desmond, but that was my original motion, that it would go directly there.
And just to follow up with that, I'm jealous I didn't think of this first. As I was reading, I thought, we should have come up with something like that. But it's a very worthy cause, and so I'm happy to support what what you put forward. Thanks.
I just want to clarify, though, for County Council, is the motion as written an appropriation? Because I think we have some distinct, what I'm understanding is that the intent of the motion maker is to appropriate funds, but the motion as drafted does not appropriate funds. And it would have us come back on March 3rd as part of the quarterly budget. If this passes, you do not appropriate the funds, even though you're trying to appropriate the funds because it's not drafted in order to appropriate the funds. Am I correct?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Perhaps it could be written correctly based on what I had requested, since I didn't offer the formal language.
Okay. I would say, I love to play that role. I would not like to appropriate the funds today. I do think it's a good and worthy cause. I think it is great, actually. But I would like to kind of consider it as part of the big package of many needs that we're looking at on March 3rd. Because I think that's a better fiscal planning process when we're able to look at everything all together. I'm likely to support it at the time. I can't make promises, but from my point of view, in terms of fiscal planning, I think we should look at this all as a package. So I will not draft your motion for you, but just want to make sure we're all clear that if this passes as drafted, it will not appropriate funds. It will come back on March 3rd. If you want it to pass differently, then we need to pause so you can redraft your motion, and then you need 4 votes.
Perhaps our clerk of the board could just draft that real quickly.
It's the first line. That's what your motion was, I understood.
This is why we hire excellent staff. I will commit to you that whatever future money we do, I'll reduce it by $313.12. I mean, $313.12.
Vice Chair Montgomery Stepp.
Yeah, so just as Andrew is doing that, every decision we make has to go through the appropriations process though, right? That's why we do the updates quarterly and otherwise. Anyway, is that accurate or no?
No, we can appropriate with 4 votes.
With 4 votes, okay.
Anytime we can appropriate with 4 votes.
Okay. What is the, I think this is a good use of funds. What is the amount that we have over the past couple of years, sorry, Ebony, put towards the shallow rent subsidy program?
Thank you for that question. Let me pull the information
Okay.
and have it ready.
Just would like to know in comparison to what we are actually doing, right? And then our shallow rent subsidy program, is it for seniors only at the county, or is it across? Okay, it's for seniors only. Okay. Because I mean, I could also see, supporting our additional folks at legal aid for, eviction prevention, just in this family sort of, just so that the appropriation or the direction is for various parts of the population, but overall, I'm okay with supporting this. Is this the final motion here? Is that it?
Supervisor.
Madam Second, do you accept that?
Yeah, I think it's fine, and I just want to acknowledge the vice chair's comments and agree. We want to make sure that we fund some of those other programs that you just mentioned. Personally, I think the shallow rent subsidy program, as was stated, only serves seniors. Ideally, we would want to have one for anybody who needs assistance. But I know that's probably fiscally unattainable. But I agree. I think there's a lot of other programs that we should be supporting, and I know that we're going to get to that discussion when we get to it. But I think there's a good opportunity.
And to be fair, that this population is the fastest rising population in the homelessness community. So I certainly, and as a matter of equity, right, that we should be looking at it that way. Of course, the only thing is when we do make decisions like this, we're not necessarily looking at the full picture, which is always, I'm always cautious about that. But in general, it's not money gone to bad, right? So,
thank you.
And through the chair, just to answer the question of the vice chair, over the last 4.5 years, we have appropriated $5 billion for this program. Over the last 4.5 years. Correct, $5 billion.
Supervisor Anderson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I was listening to everybody, and I thought it was excellent comments. I agree with you all. If only we had a department that produced efficiency reports on how we're doing with studies. Perhaps a study like every 4 or 5 years to let us know if a program is really successful or not. If only we had something like that that cost us like, I don't know, $20 million and 22 employees.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. And any other comments, Supervisor Geary? No. Okay, thank you very much. Please vote. Oh, public comments, sorry. We all were so intent on trying to figure out how to use the 313,000. My apologies. Please go to public comment.
Thank you, Chair Lawson-Remer. We have 9 requests to speak on this item, 3 in person and 6 requesting to speak by phone. Also note for the record that we received 1 e-comment in support. For any individuals that requested to speak by phone on item 7, please dial into the conference line now using the instructions that were provided to you. I'd like to invite forward Cesar, Javier, allegedly Audra, and Mark. You'll have 2 minutes to address the board, and I'll ask you to begin by stating your name for the audio record.
Thank you, God, Cesar and Purita. We heard your inputs. We heard your opinions and ideas. Thank God you're thinking. We are all thinking. And we pray that the purpose of this money that is already left behind by San Diegan should go into a moral purpose. And that moral purpose, whatever you decide, should be done as thought of. Therefore, let us specify, if I were the owner of that money, I will see to it that it goes to the proper use. For example, I died of cancer coming from the toxic gases from next door. So I would probably, hey, honey, give this to the Cancer Society to ensure that there will be cure someday, something like that. Therefore, we ask technical people, Ma'am Stip, to reinforce your idea. Ma'am Aguirre, Ma'am Rimmer, you need the public special thoughts and ideas, Sir Anderson. Clean water, clean air, clean food, clean and safe neighborhood. I think that's the idea of that dead person. Isn't it, honey? Yeah. For the survival of man, which is one of the elements in urban planning. Sir, attorney. Please, God, help our thinkers come up the rightful solution as taught us by our under God, by golly, God, divine intervention. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Mark, well, I really appreciate you doing this so I can show what an absolute utter scam you guys are. So, in the first place, obviously, if you cared at all about returning the funds to the property owners, you could just write them a check. I mean, you're the ones who made the amount that was wrong in the first place, I guess, and now you want to give them a refund. You've sent the property tax bill to their address. You know their name. You can make a check that's good for 90 days and send it to them. And if it's not cashed by them personally with their ID in 90 days, then it's not cashed. But no, you obviously don't want them to have their money. And you go to great lengths to make sure it doesn't happen the simplest, easiest way. It's also worth mentioning that the whole idea to put it into rental subsidies is a total scam, because the people don't get enough money from the corporations and the businesses to have a good standard of living. That's the problem. It's not that we need a communist system where everybody, especially the middle class, pays for rent subsidies as inflation caused by the Federal Reserve. And people should really see Zeitgeist Addendum, Peter Joseph documentary. Those are some of the words in the title on YouTube. See it from 6 minutes, 40 seconds to 25 minutes to understand how inflation is caused by the Federal Reserve. And Tara constantly talks about how it's a big problem, but nobody talks about what's causing it intentionally, making more and more people poor, so our rent subsidies will have to subsidize more and more people from the middle class and everyone because the corporations won't pay enough money. Everything about this is wrong. Send them their money back by check, their property tax refunds, and stop scamming the people.
Next speaker, please.
Oh, stop scamming the people. It is so interesting to watch vultures, or I mean racketeers, who are also like piranhas, just go after money. Newfound money, right, Joel? It's newly found. You guys, what bucket are you going to put it in? Let's fight over it because I want it to go into my pockets and not your pockets. Yeah, it's funny because, like Mark is saying, it's like you could get this to the people. You just choose not to. And Paloma, I mean, why are you lying saying that you paid your property taxes? Straight to my partner's face. Yeah, and then you said, say hello. Hi. Yeah, last time you were giving me hearts, right? But yes, what bucket will it end up in? Then now you're going to give it to the child trafficking network. How cool is that? That was smart, HHSA. And they're going to really protect those seniors and make sure they get the money. Oh my gosh, this is such a clown world that we live in where people, you know, want to figure out where to appropriate $313,000. You know what? I'll take it, put it in my pocket, and it will actually benefit people, right? Probably not, because you guys don't want to help anybody. You just want to racketeer and continue on your organized crime shenanigans. So I'm sure HHS is going to have fun with this. I mean, they do love to, you know, kill seniors, kill babies, sexually abuse them, even, yeah, just kind of anybody. Yeah, well, just virtue signaling like you're going to help, especially with the homeless, right? Because the homeless are definitely being helped as well. You guys are good at just being so evil.
We'll now hear from the individuals that requested to speak by phone. We'll start with our first caller.
Hello. I hope everyone was properly notified of the pending escheatment. Reminds me of the word sheet. Especially if they have fled or moved out of the county, as you're kind of incentivizing. If so, the escheatment should put a bit of a dent in the budget gap and hopefully will cut down a bit on transferring money from the reserves. And speaking that, I think since the general reserves have been kind of depleted a bit, or maybe even a lot, depending on what your current plotting is, maybe I think this the amount you get back from the treatment should be applied to the general reserves and not to a specific program at this point. Now, if you wanted transferred out later, make a case, transferred out then. But, you know, another thing, I'd appreciate if you don't keep forgetting the public speakers. I mean, public speech is a very important part of the process. You should not be repeatedly forgetting when public speakers are to be called. I mean, that in addition to putting the items on the consent calendar, which do not belong there. Those are real problems.
Thank you. Hear from the next caller.
Hey, it's Truth. Tara forgetting public comment sums up every agenda item perfectly because it's all political theater, right? For the record, Manuela completely changed an item after public comment. No ethics and no transparency. Ironically and not surprisingly, this is the same corrupt entity that can't even pay her own property taxes. But if she said she actually paid them, it must have been when I ignored her when she was speaking. Sorry about that. I'd like some hypocrisy eliminated from items like this, though. So maybe Manuela should just be considered ineligible to vote on any item regarding property taxes. And by the way, Manuela, thanks for crossing your fingers a couple months back, because I'm in a mansion now. No to S cheating people of $313,000 in property tax refunds. I almost appreciate Joel's innovative idea of using it for an unaudited shallow rent subsidy program that almost nobody qualifies for. But again, why not refund it all to every registered county citizen? Why should the money ever go into the county's general fund only to be misused on policies that harm property owners and everybody else who resides within county limits? That's why rental subsidies even exist, because this board has helped increase the cost of living while decreasing the quality of life. And Joel, I think the county could get away with a single auditor or internal controls director just like Sandag, but I can tell you who they wouldn't want in charge. That's you. Nobody wants you in charge of the money. So I have an alternative redirection idea. Put it in a locked trust fund. So years later, when everyone on this corrupt board is gone, there will be a savings available after this board has exhausted the budget and the reserves. Because it was so funny to hear Manuela struggle to say fiscally unattainable. She's never said it before in her life. She's never had to be responsible. And then Monica, when we make decisions like these, we don't look at the full picture. You guys are a joke. Cesar, I guess that qualifies as this corrupt county finally starting to think, but at what low level? Perhaps their minds, especially Tara's, are too concerned with creating a dictatorship via unlimited term limits. God help these people. Indeed, you guys need it. I hope.
Thank you. Hear from the next caller.
Consuelo. Okay, so yeah, you all are salivating over that money, ain't you? And Tara, yeah, you were so excited about you were so excited about it. You even forgot about public comment, and that is, yeah, that says a lot about you, lady. And yeah, as I mentioned before, you need to hunt down the people owed or their next of kin and return it. Everything that Mark said was on point. You continue to behave like parasites, eating and stealing from the people, devouring their hard-earned money instead of doing the right thing by returning it. But yeah, whatever you decide, I hope it goes to a good place for a good cause. Prove me wrong. What else do I have on this? Yeah. That's all I got, I think. Wait. Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay, thank you. We'll hear from the next caller.
I really cannot wait for March. Now, I love your last two comments because it basically shined a humongous spotlight Tara, you went ahead and said you want to talk to all the stakeholders. Well, earlier you defined us, the people, as stakeholders. And then Monica basically reinforced the thing, meaning, no, we're only talking about the NGOs. And then the last one, really what you guys are doing is you recognize that Trump is going after the woke NGOs and propping up other NGOs, and you're pissed off about that, right? So you want to go ahead and create that thing so you could go after what? Jewish Family Services? Is that your plan? You're going to try to go after them to wipe out their fraud. So really, it's just trying to maintain the system until Trump is gone. You're going to go ahead and do as much diversion as humanly possible to not address the core issue, which is voter fraud. But, you know, I have some options. And if you want me to express those options, continue down your path. If you want to go ahead and work for a resolution, let's do that. But if you want to continue escalating, I'm more than happy to oblige. And I already showed you my entire workbook. I've given you all my tools. So you could go ahead and judge for yourself. And, you know, your new friggin' lawyer, yeah, he would not be able to beat me like he beat Trump. And he knows it. I already have all the documents ready. They're ready for anyone to go ahead and look up. Find me on Twitter, my pinned post, and ask questions yourself. Ask for the documentation that I have for any of these issues and all that stuff. Hell, it could even find you more documentation. That's the...
Thank you. Hear from the final caller.
Hi, my name is Andrea Ebbing. The taxpayer dollars. So I'm just wondering, when the city operates and tries to collect taxes from, let's say, Apex Recovery, the owner of Apex Recovery then ultimately sues him, right? Because he says the way he got to where he is by not paying his attorneys and not paying his taxes, right? So he doesn't have to follow the law because he spent the summer stepping. But the city sues him, and then the county awards him $5 million at the same time. How is that possible? I have questions. And I don't want to be morbid. I'm just very concerned about how and what happened to him. And it's very unfortunate. I'm concerned for the city, and I would like to know more. And then it looks like we're kind of rotating through collectors. It looks like we don't want to return the money. And I would like my $700 back from the library book that I returned to the downtown library very soon after I had pulled it out. And then, like a few years later, somebody from the county or city called threatening me to withhold money from my taxes. Ultimately, what wound up happening is I paid $700 for a paperback book that I had returned. And then the Rancho Bernardo Library confirmed with me that it was returned. So I'll put my $700. You can cut that out of that check. Thank you.
Thank you. And Chair Lawson-Remer, that concludes public comment on this item.
Okay, thank you very much. Supervisor Montgomery Stepp.
Just one more, well, two more quick questions. Just based on the shallow rent subsidy program, how much, you said it's been $5 million allocated over the last 4.5 years, or $5 million spent?
Thank you for that clarifying question. We have spent $5 million.
Okay, and how much has been allocated?
A total of $6 million has been allocated.
So we still have $1 million for this program right now to be expended?
That is correct. The remaining amount is $1 million through the remainder of the program duration, which is slated to go through the end of the fiscal year.
Okay. And with the current framework and parameters of the program, can we get $1,300,000 out the door by the end of the fiscal year? I guess that's the question.
Let me give the team just a second to respond. They're listening.
Okay.
We'll take a moment. Nobody should feel rushed. Thank you.
Yeah, generally still supportive. I just want to know what I'm doing.
Supervisor Anderson.
If I may, when we have a surplus at the end of the year, we usually have budget adjustments and we all vote on it. So any surplus that we come to at the end of the year can be readjusted. It's not going to just roll over.
Yeah, I've been a part of that process for a couple of years now. I just want to, again, when we do make decisions that we're not necessarily able to think through, then even if we mean good, sometimes it could turn out to be something different. But I'm still generally supportive. I just want to know. These are questions I would ask during any appropriations or any item that has to do with the budget allocation.
And while we're waiting for the response, the $1 million, yes, is planned to be expended by the end of the fiscal year, and I'm waiting for the response on the additional allocation.
Chair, it's up to you. We can move forward if you want, but I know that probably if Ms. Shelton could maybe get that answer to all the supervisors at some point or another.
Okay. I just want to say again for the record, obviously very supportive of this program. Appreciate the support of my colleagues on a program that I originally brought forward. I can't support this today because I don't think it's appropriate fiscal planning. There's already enough money in the account to get us through the end of this year. There may very well be other urgent needs that we need to spend funds on in this fiscal year that we would need to use unassigned general fund balance for. And those questions are going to be presented to us in less than a month. It's 2/10. The CEO is coming back on 3/3 with an entire framework of all the hundreds of millions of unmet needs. I don't think it's good fiscal planning to do one-offs like this. So I will be not supportive of this today, but not because I'm not supportive of the program, but I am supportive of not spending money on things this year that if there's something else that's on that list that our CEO has identified as sort of like more immediate and more urgent. So that, just wanted to say that again for the record. CEO Ebony?
Thank you, through the chair. Just to respond to the remaining $313,000, the team says that we will be able to expend those funds by the end of the fiscal year if your board took affirmative action today.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, we have a motion on the floor and a second.
And Chair Lawson-Remer, just to clarify for the record, to comply with the Revenue Taxation Code, staff is recommending the addition of to the general fund, shown up on the screen here after the words trust fund.
Okay. Thank you, Andrew, for correcting my colleague's motion.
Do we need to confirm that we'll do it that language, or is it because it's technical?
It's just been changed, but like Andrew just confirmed it for you.
Oh, excellent. Excellent work.
Yeah. Thank you. He was working on it for you. Reminding everyone it's a 4-vote item because this is an appropriation today. Please take a vote.
Chair Lawson-Remer, that motion passes with Chair Lawson-Remer voting no, all other supervisors being present and voting aye.
Okay, all, thank you so much. We'll take lunch now. It is about almost 12:40. We'll be back at 1:40. Thanks.
Board is in recess until 1:40 this afternoon.